I think we are live. Welcome, folks. Let me double check. We always have to do this. This is like really bad because we don't go
I'll do
live
it.
enough to know for sure we're live, but it's a lot
Yeah,
of
we're good.
assumption.
We're good.
Okay.
I'm looking down at my phone.
Okay. Great. Welcome everybody who's here. If you're here early, we super appreciate you. John Leary, J2D224. Appreciate you all for being here. You guys are the best. And we're excited to get going. We're gonna be here all night, chilling, hanging out, watching the game. We'll be here with you. We'll be interacting with the comments all night long. Gonna hear your perspectives on what's happening. You'll get to hear our analysis in real time. We'll be here after the game, breaking stuff down a little bit, but it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. Jeff, you were about to like say something to me, so you can pick up on
Well,
where you left off.
all I was gonna say is like I have conversations with people like when I'm playing golf that are similar to the one I was just having with you, where I'm like, "Good shot, dude," and they're like, "That wasn't a good shot. Don't say good shot." And I'm like, "All right, fine, fuck it, bad shot, bad shot. You suck." Yeah, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, all right, let's move on.
Yeah, it's more like not positive or like no affirmation, just like neutral, like just like you exist, and it's like
The
yes,
thing
I
is
appreciate
like
that. I do.
I'm super hypocritical in that regard because I'm terrible at taking compliments too, and I don't really like it. And then I'm like expecting other people to take my compliments when I'm over the top.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Why don't you
what's
take
wrong
my
with you?
compliment?
Why don't you do this thing that I'm terrible at? You know, it's like, so, I get your perspective. I just
Yep. It makes sense. No, it makes sense. It's different when you're on the receiving end.
What I'm actually bummed about before we get to John's comment, I wish we scheduled this for when it was on a Peacock stream.
Oh god. Peacock is like we'll never get a Peacock sponsorship deal because I'm about to roast them. It is like the worst live streaming experience I've ever had is watching like a basketball game on Peacock. Like I'd rather watch any like it will deter me from watching games. Oftentimes when I watch games, I rewind them to like see, something in real time. Oh, did I miss this? Did I interpret this right? I won't do it on Peacock because it's just like it ruins your entire night. If you rewind one time, your night's ruined. Don't ever rewind on Peacock. It's just like such an awful experience. The random ads, as soon as you click into it, you have like a 15-second ad, you're missing the game. It's just awful. So Prime, so much better. Peacock's terrible.
And just better at everything.
Totally.
It's just better at everything. Their pregame, postgame shows better. The analysts they get are better. I think everything's better. I'm trying to think of any advantage. You know what Peacock has? They have the throwback NBC music. They did that. So good for them. That hits me in the nostalgia a little bit. But besides that,
well, the nice thing though is that for a lot of the Peacock games, they just showed on NBC. So like when it's on NBC, it's cool. It's fine. I don't actually have a preference for like the studio folks, like the broadcast team or the halftime team, like because I don't really watch any of those shows. Like I actively will just do something else, watch something else, have it on mute. Like I don't really watch any of those shows. No disrespect to anybody,
let's in a high hand theory style, let's flip this from a negative to a positive. The Prime halftime show is really good. You should watch that, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
And you know me. I would never recommend that shit. Like I don't. But I think Nash and Udonis Haslem and Dirk. I think that crew's really good. I mean, Nash does the what's the pod, the Mind the Game pod now with LeBron and Redick not doing it anymore. And Nash is obviously brilliant. Dirk is like kind of quiet, but when he speaks, he speaks authoritatively, and he's really smart too, obviously. And then Udonis Haslem's. Yeah, they're all just really smart. Udonis Haslem comes from a great franchise that knows what they're doing. So I don't know. Like as far as that sort of content and stuff, I think Prime is crushing it, just absolutely crushing it.
I mean, I totally believe you. Like I think that I take your word for it and I trust your opinion on that. I think that I'm just like not, I don't know. I don't find too much interest in like, I basically, I feel like I've never watched one of these shows and been like, oh wow, like that's so elucidating. And like maybe you're right, maybe this is the one show that would be the case, but until they get Jeremy Lin on it, I'm probably not gonna watch. If they had Lin on, I'd watch it.
Well, what opened my eyes was they did, and I forgot Blake Griffin because Blake Griffin was a part of this, and they had like a really brilliant breakdown on it was like on Drive and Kicks or something like that. And so they had like Nash and Blake Griffin recreating like the different ways you draw two and the different reads you make when you're driving like that, and how it's not just
that's
as
cool.
Yeah, and how it's like not just as simple as like, oh, you draw that second defender and you're looking to kick it to where the defender comes from. It was, to use your word, it was very elucidating. I was like, oh, I would never have known this. Obviously, they do stuff that I could never dream of. So it was, I thought it was really cool.
Okay, well, yeah, that's convincing. Let's see. Shout out to John Leary, who was here very early first. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who's here in the chat right now. You know, if it's 3 of us going the whole way, 20 of us, 100 of us, I don't even care. I'm super excited to have every single one of you here and hanging out with us. We'd love to hear your comments, especially if it's a small group. We'll get to kind of like talk with everybody, and that'll be great. John says, do you think the Knicks are still better than the 76ers without OG? What do you think, Geoff?
Well, we were actually just talking about something on this topic. So I think that there aren't many people out there higher on the sort of theoretical upside of the 76ers than you and I are. Like, especially with Embiid healthy, if he can move. I think we saw in game one how the Knicks are capable of exploiting this limited version of Embiid if they're going to keep putting him on Towns. But if the Knicks aren't better than the Sixers without OG, I think they have bigger problems. Like, I think if you view the Knicks as a championship team, wow, I didn't know Deuce was starting. Good for them. I think if you don't view it, or excuse me, I think if you view the Knicks as a championship team right now, which most Knicks fans do, I believe, then you have to prioritize OG's health. And so might be a little bit of a cop-out to your question, John. But I think the Knicks are still really good. I think they can still throw a lot of lineups out there, and I don't mean this to minimize OG's importance, but to me, OG's importance rests in their ceiling and in winning a championship. And so if that's your goal, they need to view it that way. Not like they need OG to win every single game, and being up 2-0 against, no offense, Philadelphia, a 7 seed, isn't a big enough cushion to where they need to rush OG back. To me, that would say more about the Knicks without OG than it would about his importance.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree with all that. I think that's very well said. As we are about to get underway, very exciting. They're having Embiid back. I'm actually glad Embiid is back. I know it's like maybe that's an unpopular opinion for the Knicks fans in the chat, but like, firstly, it's going to depend a lot about how Embiid is moving. That's probably going to be the first thing that I'm watching. And secondly, I don't know, like, I just feel like it's just better if they beat them with with Embiid. Also better for them long term, because I don't want them to have just like a pushover series and then go up against the Pistons or something and it'd be like, holy crap, this is a completely different kind of basketball that we're playing. So we're about to get started. We're looking at tip-off here. So Deuce in the starting lineup. Let's go.
Since we're on the topic of me complimenting you, XJ, our audience is about to, our audience is about to see
insane first play.
Our audience is about to see, in my opinion, one of your greatest gifts, which is, I think I've told Schwinn this too. I think you and Schwinn are like two of the most, like, in terms of just watching a basketball game and immediately being perceptive or having a takeaway, you're two of the best I've ever seen. It's really, really impressive. Like, I watch stuff and I'm just like, okay, I'm going to need a rewatch, or I'm going to need a, just to think about this some more. And you're like, did you notice X? And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess now that I think about it, I did, but I don't know. You guys are just really good at that stuff, in my opinion.
That's really high praise, but way to set expectations for our audience. I like to keep expectations low and outperform them, but unfortunately it's maxed out now. But no, I'm just kidding. It's all good. I appreciate it. So let's see. The Knicks are off to a very poor start. 5-0 run. And Edgecombe attacking in transition, drawing the foul. Pretty interesting with Embiid, with Towns still guarding Embiid. I mean, that's basically their only option at this point with no OG. So that's going to be the matchup. And that's something very, very interesting to watch. And one of the downstream ramifications of the OG being out that, you know, I feel like is probably under discussed, because he didn't guard Embiid very much at all.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Here's a question for you, XJ. Do you think, from the Knicks perspective with no OG, do they just stick with, like, they're obviously going to slide Hart to power forward especially when Mikal's off the court, but aside from Hart sliding to power forward, do they go to Diawara or do they put Mikal there in the non-Hart minutes and then they go to Shamet? Like, I feel like that's the sort of marginal question that they have to figure out here.
It's a great question. Yeah, it'll be really interesting as the Knicks get off to a very slow start. They're putting pressure on Jalen Brunson in the backcourt early. Josh Hart tries to take advantage of it, but Embiid's at the rim. Embiid's not looking too bad, and he's guarding Hart right now. So very interesting.
It would be amusing, XJ, if they went to that cross match this game.
That's all.
And then the takeaway from this game was how, see, the starting lineup sucks if you replace like but the Sixers completely changed their strategy and nobody talks about that part of it.
Well, it won't be nobody. Don't worry.
It won't be nobody. You're right.
We'll be there. But yeah, right now they're just ghosting. They're actually ghosting Hart for the first time for the most part. And as shout out to Neo Marioism says, they're just telling Hart to score right now. And he does. Gets into the basket. Yep. There you go.
This has been a really nice start by Philadelphia, though. Like, I don't think the Knicks. I don't believe that Nurse is going to go full ghost. I don't see it. I don't see that happening. They just went back to the other way last possession. I just don't. I don't know
I think that was a fast break possession. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure what the coverage is just yet, but like I think you're probably right. They won't just like straight up ghost, but I do think that was like a cross match more than it was intentional.
You could be right.
Not sure. I mean, we'll see. As Towns draws a foul, Towns got upset that he was fouled, and then the ref was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess you were a foul," and then he called it.
Well, I mean, there was something going on here. Embiid was hooking him. I don't know. That just
this is where he thought he was fouled, and then he just kind of stopped playing, and then the ref was like, "Oh yeah, that's true."
Yeah. See, this is a half-court possession. They've got Embiid back on Towns. I just don't think Nurse is.
He did it last season to start, and then got scared out of it. So.
Well, he did. I think it's the 20. I think the
2024. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those playoffs broke him. Hart hit a couple shots. It's the coin flip analogy we came up with in the last show.
Yeah. It was so crazy. Like I remember watching that like game when he adjusted away from it. I was like, this guy is an idiot, man. Like obviously he's not actually an idiot, but you know what I mean. Like from the standpoint of you're gonna like, if you're going with this coverage, you're not going for it to just like, oh, he made a few shots, I better get out of it. Like then you don't even do it. Don't try it then. It's just like bizarre. You're trying it in the hopes that he just misses his first 5, and then you'll do it for as long as he misses each sequential shot as Towns drives by Embiid to the layup.
Dude, Towns and Embiid are gonna fight tonight. You can already tell. Like it's just super chippy, and they both are just trying to draw fouls.
Wow, did you see that Deuce like contest at the rim on Embiid? That was crazy.
Yep.
And Hart with the finish.
Yeah, that's something I feel like actually, if you're talking about Deuce's defense, I've never been super high on. Like I think he's a really smart helper, but geez, Towns is just pinning his arm. This is going to be a nightmare, man. It's going to be one of those games where like every play could be a foul or everyone couldn't be, and it's just up to the ref's discretion as to what a foul is and what it isn't. This is going to be, this is going to be ridiculous. But yeah, I've always loved Deuce as an on-ball defender a lot more than as an off-ball defender.
I think he's a better than advertised off ball, but not as like a low man rim protector. I think that he struggles in that capacity a lot. That's why I was very impressed at the block as Paul George is another jumper. Yeah. Paul George has been nice, man, from the field.
He has been.
So here's a Embiid ghost Hart coverage. So they're like floating back and forth from it.
I think it was a cross match again, man. Like
this one was.
Yeah, I think I'm just like actively watching it, and
they just left him there. So Embiid like tracks Brunson to the rim. They left Hart to like spread space out to the another play at the rim. The Knicks have no rim defense right now. A lot of transition buckets. 76ers are kind of getting exactly what they want right now. And then terrible pass from Hart. And that's going to be another lob. That's a timeout. 15-18. The Sixers are up on the Knicks in the first quarter. 15-8. The Sixers are up on the Knicks. 7:25 left in the first. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. What are you seeing so far, Geoff? As I look through some comments, but yeah, what are you seeing so far?
Yeah, I think the Sixers are just playing with a lot of energy. They're playing super well, and like we were talking about beforehand, even with Oubre and for Grimes, I mean, they're pretty in a vacuum negligible players. I think Grimes gives the team a higher upside because of his shooting. But even with Oubre in for him, this is a really good team. It's like they should complement each other really well. I mean, there's a reason that when they got George, it was like, oh shit, if they can just stay healthy, they're going to be super good. They're capable of this. And yeah, I mean, Deuce McBride's a great role player, but you replace replace OG Anunoby with him, that's going to be a downgrade. And then you've got, the whole issue of you're throwing a lineup together that maybe has, I know it's played some and I know it's played successfully, but hasn't played a ton of minutes. So you're kind of building chemistry. And then you throw in the fact that for whatever reason, whether it's due to cross matches, whether it's due to circumstance or actually strategic, they have introduced ghosting Hart a little bit to start this. And it's early. That's what I'll say from the Knicks perspective.
Yeah, that's fair. Harlan before the game had said, I would have loved for them to start Mitch and have Cat come off the bench, run the Cat unit, I assume the second unit, take away the hack and Mitch strategy. I don't think that the Knicks would bring Cat off the bench, but what would you think? Because somebody also said, Tony Santos said, I think Brown just needs to get Mitch in for Cat earlier in the quarter. I think in response to that.
I think that's a good response from Tony, because you can't, like, Towns has put aside all the debates about him as a player. In my opinion, I do think that he is someone who is at his best when he's like comfortable and confident on a relative basis. I'm sure everybody is that to some degree, but he's been like arguably the best player in the NBA in these playoffs. No exaggeration. He's been incredible. Like, there are some impact metrics that literally have him number one of all players in the playoffs. And to be like, yeah, we're going to try this strategy where you come off the bench I think that has the potential to mess with him. But I like Tony's response of, okay, let's just stagger a little bit more extremely, get Mitch in early so that he can guard Embiid for a longer stretch. And then you get Towns to run the bench unit at the start of the second or whatever. I think that's a great response by Tony.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to do it. It is concerning with, like, I would want to stagger Towns and Embiid as much as like that is possible, because obviously they'll both play a ton. But I don't love that Towns is like the only player on the team like currently able to guard Embiid for any amount of time. That is like a problem to me, because like if they're not going to put OG on Embiid, at least there's this standpoint of, if there's some kind of switch, if there's some kind of cross match, if they need to scram someone out, it can be another guy who can do it. In this situation, you're basically signing up for 100% Towns guards Embiid, which I don't like at all. And so, like, if you can offset their minutes to some extent, have Mitch, be in there for more of the Embiid minutes than Towns, I think that'd be preferable. So that's one of the things that I think is a factor here, and why I think it's a smart comment as far as like getting Towns out a little bit earlier. It's really all about the drawing fouls, by the way, if I didn't make that clear.
Yeah, I know it's too early for this because, well, it's going to be too early for this in the whole game, because this game sample size can't be big enough. But I am going to use this start as a springboard to go on a sort of rant that I've been wanting to go on one of our shows for a little bit. So a lot of people have been talking about how like when the Knicks were talking about potentially changing the starting lineup and looking at other lineup combinations, they were talking about how it should be Bridges that goes to the bench. And the reason for that was, well, we have this lineup data.
Jumper. Go ahead.
We have this lineup data that says that this lineup, if you put Deuce in for Mikal, is actually really good. And actually the lineup with Deuce in for OG is really good too. The problem with that is there's
offensive foul on Josh Hart. But go ahead. Sorry. Just
the problem with that is there's not, you're good. There's not really like anything underlying or like logically why putting Deuce in for Mikal Bridges would be better. You see, I'm not saying Deuce isn't better than Mikal Bridges at anything. We've gone over this. He's a better point of attack defender. He's a better screen navigator. And to me, most importantly, is he's a better deep 3-point shooter. So those things matter. But do they matter to the degree that's being reflected by the lineup data? I'm not sure they do. And man, the Sixers are defending their ass off right now. They're like flying around screens. And yeah, this is a really impressive start. The Knicks aren't moving the ball much at all.
Yeah. Okay. So they get, that's a tough shot. But Towns cleans it up. Wow.
The Knicks are surprisingly being very aggressive on the offensive glass. They've been what do they have? 6 points off of offensive rebounds already?
Not sure the exact number, but yeah, definitely are hitting the glass. This was funny. Brunson just like guarded Oubre perfectly well. Oubre tried to overpower him. He couldn't. Brunson completely stood his ground, and then Brunson flops on that second hit. Didn't get the foul call. Kick out for 3, which I don't think had to do with the flop, but
meanwhile, man,
there's an offensive foul the other way.
Paul George just threw Josh Hart down. I mean, these guys just need to be wearing an Alex Caruso jersey. Then you just get bumped by LeBron, and we're going the other way.
You're gonna try to bait a foul baiting conversation. I see.
No, we've had enough of that. We've had enough of that conversation, I think. I was surprised. I don't know what you felt about game 2, but I actually thought without Embiid, the Sixers offense was shockingly effective before the end of that game. Man, this is ridiculous. This is a ridiculously chippy game. They did nothing down the stretch, but I think they had like mid-90s points, like midway or even early in the fourth quarter.
I thought they were making a lot of shots like early in the game as far as and then late in the game that all dried up. I don't know how effective I thought their offense was. But yeah, without Embiid, it's probably still impressive. But the fact that I don't know if there were any positive, it's such a weird thing to say. I don't know if there were any positive Sixers players in that game. Who was positive? Maxey was not, I'm pretty confident.
You mean positive, purely plus minus, or your assessment of them?
No, a positive, net impact.
Oh,
that was a risky outlet from Mitch as Hart takes it right to Embiid, and Embiid just moves out the way.
Dude, his ability to go coast to coast and to finish through bigger guys is probably the most impressive thing about him. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And he only has one move, and it works every time.
Yeah, he does the left to right Euro.
Yeah, every single time.
Dude,
that's a tough. Paul George.
That is filthy. Man, he's.
Jeez. 23-12. Knicks are down pretty big early in this game.
Yeah. They're not really running the kinds of. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that was a good attack of Embiid there.
Yep.
I was gonna say they're not really running the sets that they've been running, but I guess a lot of them are based on Towns too.
Well, when Mitch has been in the game, they just run pick and roll and put Embiid in it as Maxey gets to the bucket. Yeah,
very smart.
The Sixers are being, you're right, super aggressive and physical today. As they get Bridges a nice corner 3.
I thought, whoever was on the call last night for the Thunder Laker game, I thought they made a really, really interesting point about the Thunder players. Might have been a Daignault quote, but he talked about how as the Knicks head to a timeout down 25-18. See, I can do the updating too.
Nice. Thank you.
I thought they made a really good point about how one of the most impressive things about Thunder players is on a game-to-game basis, there are fringe guys who don't even know if they're going to play. And then they'll hop in and play 14 minutes and their shooting isn't affected that much. Their effort, just their general effectiveness doesn't sway the way a lot of players do. And that's something I've been paying attention to with Mikal Bridges lately, since he got off to that slow start in the Hawks-Knicks series, is like, how much is him being kind of disconnected or feeling disconnected from the general flow of the team? And I say that because I think that was just his first field goal attempt 9 minutes into the game, which I think Mikal Bridges can help himself a lot. Like, I think there are things he can obviously do to make himself more additive and more effective, even when they're not running plays for him. But at the same time, I do think there are ways that Mike Brown and Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson can help him out too, and just sort of get him feeling the game more.
Absolutely. Totally agree. I think Bridges is that kind of like feel kind of guy and needs to get a touch, needs to get a pick and roll, ran through him every now and then, needs to get a play run for him. Kind of how the Sixers run, like every one of their first plays is like run for Paul George, basically. The Knicks should consider doing something like that for Mikal Bridges as well. Shout out to John Leary who threw in a super chat. Guys, super chats are not, required or requested or anything like that, but we super appreciate it. Thank you so much. Any thoughts on Cavs and Pistons so far, Geoff?
Yeah, I have to be honest. I did a guest spot on a show. The guys were really cool. They had me on, and this was when the Pistons were down 3-1, I think, or maybe even it was 3-1, I think. And I said on that show, I was just like, I think the Pistons are more being hurt by what's a terrible matchup than them being frauds or the things that other people were saying. I didn't, it wouldn't have surprised me when they were down that they came back. And I said, if they do come back, I expect a lot of people to be like, okay, cool. They barely skated by an 8-seed Magic team that is without Franz Wagner. Big deal. They're just going to get walloped in the next round. And I thought that was underrating them. I think the Cavs are a much better matchup for them. I think the Cavs are fine. But I think the Pistons are much more in their comfort zone playing this type of series. And it's showing they've been really good through 2 games. They've also been benefactors of some hot shooting relative to the Cavs. But that's how playoff series go, So I think those are my general thoughts. I think that the Pistons are better than they were getting credit for in that Magic series. And I also think they've gotten some positive variance relative to the Cavs.
Awesome. Appreciate the question, John. Really interested to keep watching that, and obviously it's going to matter a lot. Hopefully it matters a lot for the Knicks what happens in that series. We'd probably want to see that series go long if you're a Knicks fan. Don't want to see the Pistons win game 3 there. Sincere, shout out to you, says I think Bridges could be used as a Rip Hamilton kind of player if the Knicks use them that way. Yeah, I think this is a really apropos comment. Like, I feel like Bridges has that cardio, has that conditioning, has that ability to just run nonstop, and there's ways you can leverage it that works well. He loves to run in transition. He's really good at playing off ball, at chasing, and there's ways you could use it in not such a great way, which is like putting him on the ball and having him just try to chase over screens. But that is an interesting way to use it, kind of have him just tire out the guy who's guarding him. So I think that's a really interesting comment.
Man.
So 25-18, we're back. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter as Paul George is insane. Are you ahead of me by a lot or something?
No.
Oh, you were saying man, so. And then he hit a shot like 2 seconds later. So.
I was saying man at Deuce's defensive possession there.
Oh.
He helped on a drive and then recovered to Paul George, and it's like, this guy still hits it over him. Like, that was just really sick by Paul George. I have to be honest. Paul George is truly one of my favorite basketball players ever. Like, I think that I and it's not just like the persona or whatever. Man, that was probably a foul. It's just the way I view basketball. He's like the perfect player. like prime Paul George is like he's almost like, this is going to sound like a completely blasphemous comparison, but he's like Steph Curry in a way. Obviously, he's not close to Steph Curry. They're completely opposite in terms of how they get their impact. But what I mean by that is, like, Steph Curry is this number 1 option who you could just stick next to Kevin Durant, and then he slides over to like a 1B, or like he just plays off of Kevin Durant and he maintains his impact. And I've always loved that about Paul George. Is like, Paul George was the best player on those Pacers teams. He was a great 1A that those teams probably make the finals if LeBron James doesn't exist. And then he goes to OKC, put him next to an MVP Russell Westbrook who needs the ball in his hands to be his best self. And Paul George just slides over, has his best season as a basketball player or as an NBA player next to Russell Westbrook in that 1B role. Like, to me, that's remarkable.
Harlem says, damn, the glaze is real. And I'm just messing with you because obviously I love Paul George as well for a lot of the reasons that you said. And I don't want to, it's very touchy to bring this up now, but I definitely was like interested in the Knicks getting Paul George instead of Mikal Bridges at the time, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, George, it would have been, yeah, if he could have stayed healthy, of course.
Right, he was just injured last season, so it's just. We got a Shamet sighting early. Shamet and Clarkson are in the game, so the Knicks are trying to spread it out around Brunson and Mitch. They blitz Brunson, so that's interesting to see. Knicks don't really get an advantage out of it, but Shamet hits the shot.
Super nice by Shamet. Mike Brown loves Jordan Clarkson.
He does.
Yeah.
even though he benched him early in the season.
You know, XJ, the people don't know, and one day they'll know. They don't know about my ability to control sports. Me talking up Paul George. Knicks fans want that. Knicks fans want me to say good things about Paul George because that immediately means here comes the bricks and the.
Sounds like you like Paul George more than XJ likes Deuce. It's funny.
I like Deuce more than XJ. I wonder how.
That is funny.
That's hilarious.
Nice comments, Harlem. I appreciate it. Keep it coming.
Keep roasting me. At least I don't have.
As Geoff says, how much Brown likes Clarkson. We get Clarkson throwing the ball away. Take Clarkson out. Neo Mariosm says as he chucks the ball out of bounds. So you got to control sports in the right way right now, Geoff.
Yeah, I got to do better. No, but I mean, look. I'll be honest. When the Knicks got Clarkson this offseason and people were talking about like, oh, he's a microwave scorer, he's going to help them so much, I was very skeptical because like you look at the data, it's been a couple of years since he's really been his peak self, but people said like, okay, he's just been on a crappy team, put him in a more winning situation. He's not past his physical peak yet. I did not think Mike Brown would be able to get defense out of him the way he has. Like that to me, I'm not saying Jordan Clarkson is by any means a great defender, but he's been way better on that end than I ever expected him to be. So, like, if Jordan Clarkson's trying on defense, he's not killing you there. And, you know, you can't just run it through Brunson every possession. Sometimes you need somebody to go get you some points. Clarkson is that guy who can still do that for you.
The only thing I disagree with is that he's not killing you on defense. I think that Clarkson can play solid defense for like a spurt, but he inevitably pushes up too high and then a guy just like walks past him. And that happens probably like 4 times a game. It's going to happen in the next 2 minutes if he's on the court. So I'll get to say, there it is. I don't know why he does it, but it's like every game I watch, he's like, he'll play good defense. He'll be in front and then he'll press up way too high. And the guy would be like, see ya, boy, I don't know what you're doing over there. Shout out to John Leary, by the way.
I was about to say that. That's such a sick comment, man. That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
That is really sick by John. That's really cool.
I really appreciate that, John. That's awesome. Yeah, he says, I remember actually pondering if PG-13 would have been a better fit for the Warriors than KD because it maximizes Curry more. Yeah, I did ponder that. I still ponder that.
It really just depends, that conversation, XJ, on if you think that 2016 Curry was like possible, like replicable. I was sick by Brunson.
Yeah, good finish by Brunson.
I personally don't. That season is so insane for so many reasons. And it's
it's the best offensive season in NBA history, in my opinion.
Right.
I don't, and I don't think there's a close second, but that's just maybe I'm biased on that point. But it was just an absurd offensive season.
Yeah, it was outrageous. But if you think that they were probably not going to be able to get that again, which is certainly possible.
Whoa, Landry with the corner 3 fading to his left.
Yeah, but I think it hit the top left of the backboard.
Did it?
I think
he's pointing. He's pointing to something.
Yeah, I think it was missed so badly that it went in.
All right, we're getting Embiid 1-on-1 with Mitch. Shamit brings a little help, but not really, and Embiid finishes it. Too much time with Embiid being able to push his way down.
Brunson's really, really smart at getting those 2-for-1s. He is really, really good at that.
He did get the 2-for-1. Tough miss. As Edgecombe tries to get a 2-for-1 himself, but he doesn't. And Brunson definitely going to hold that for the last shot. 31-25. The Knicks, I think they bounce back really well, and we'll see what they do in this last possession, but they have to feel good about how they close this quarter. Cut the lead down a little bit. And we have a blitz to Brunson's face, which allows a layup for Bridges. Never blitz to the face, guys. It's my motto in life.
But XJ, it's okay because the guy wearing number 11 didn't score. Layups are okay if the right guy is. That's why doubling is so good,
31-27. Knicks cut the lead down to 4 points. Very nice, kind of calming situation for the Knicks as they started off pretty rocky, but get things together with Towns out of the game, which is important. I think it's important to know that Towns, is going to be able to come back at some point with a game a little tighter, despite having the 2 fouls. So I think that was a very encouraging close of the game for them. Paul George is just on one, though, as we're talking about him. He's just cooking. He's been cooking all playoffs long. He's been better than Mac. He's been their best player, in my opinion, overall for the whole playoffs, and he's continued that here. So the Knicks gonna have to figure out how to slow down Paul George, and maybe this is the actual thing that's gonna hurt them with OG. Like I thought it'd be missing the ability to have OG on Embiid primarily, but somebody's got to slow down Paul George.
Yeah, I mean, with Deuce now in the starting lineup, in a weird way, in my opinion, it gives you an opportunity. You miss OG floating and roaming. He's like one of the best off-ball defenders in the league, obviously. But I think you can put Deuce on Maxey and or split Deuce and Mikal on Maxey. I like Deuce better, obviously. But you put Hart on George. Hart's been the Knicks' best perimeter defender these playoffs, or at least on the ball, in my opinion, on the guards. I think you can put Hart on George, let him be physical with George. That sort of disrupts George's rhythm. That's what I would do going forward if I was the Knicks in this game.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, Hart basically, I'll be curious to see what the best impact data says. I know it's small sample and stuff, but it is basically like the Knicks ended the season the last, I don't know, couple months with opponents going to way more cross matches, putting wings on Towns. Towns was playing some of his worst basketball as a Knick, and then they went into the playoffs and getting a wing on Hart all the time, and Hart's been playing the best defense of his career. Like, I'll be very curious to see what some of the metrics say about this stretch by Hart, because to me it's been remarkable.
I think that like right now, like his impact according to the metrics is like exceptionally low. I'm not positive, but I think it's like very low.
Just because he's not making shots, or other stuff too? Is there other stuff I'm missing? Is he turning it over a lot?
Well, he turned it over a lot in this game, but I think that, I mean, yeah, it's a big part of it is not making shots for sure, but it's interesting because he is getting guarded, and just the fact of just like not making the shots that he's been pretty like low volume for the most part. I think today is like the most aggressive he's been, but it's mostly transition. So he's just like I think most of the negative impact is coming on offense. If I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is relative to his output. Like, if you told me before the playoffs started that Hart was going to be shooting as infrequently as he has, and his true shooting was going to be like 45%, I would be like, holy, what? That. But like, he's doing those things, and to me, I mean, again, I'll be curious to see, but I think his defense has been outrageously good, and the fact that they keep guarding him with wings and stuff, in my opinion, has allowed Towns to be this exceptional version of himself. So I know Hart doesn't really have a lot of control over that, at least except for his great shooting season. But hey, you take what you can get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Kavian. Hello fellas. Thank you for going live today. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody who's here right now. Everybody who's here spends a minute with us, 5 minutes with us, the whole game with us. We really appreciate you and love being here and kind of getting to watch the game live with you guys. So as the Knicks come back and get a nice floater. The thing about Clarkson is that he's like a completely different player offensively. It's so weird. Like he exclusively scores at the basket now. I don't know the last time he made a 3-point shot.
Yeah.
As Maxey gets all the way.
The Sixers came out. So this is an interesting. So they came out with Barlow and Towns, and Embiid on Hart. This is the second straight possession they're doing it.
Yeah.
Do you think, XJ, that the Sixers aren't doing this to start the game because Nurse doesn't like the size of the rest of the starters?
I think it's a good question because it definitely could be the case. I think when they do this with Embiid, I'm not even sure it's Embiid on Hart. I think it's like Embiid just like not leaving the rim area, and like whoever is in the corner, like they'll just leave. Whoever's in the weak side corner, they'll just leave him. That's who Embiid will be on.
So yeah, he's starting on Hart, but
he'll float back and forth.
For the third straight possession, Hart is finding really, really smart ways to
Shamet gets to the... So Embiid is slow there. So it's not a true ghost because Embiid's supposed to be able to defend that. That's the whole point of ghosting him. It's like that shot's not supposed to be able to happen from Shamet. Embiid is slow to recover because he's still kind of hedging, kind of going out to Hart, kind of like playing in the paint. So it's just it's non-committal for sure. It's an inch. I don't really know what the coverage is, to be honest with you. What do you think? That was a travel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked weird. I think yeah, I think your point about them just trying to keep Embiid like moving as infrequently as possible is that's travel too. Oh my goodness. I think they're just trying to keep him from moving or not have him move as frequently as possible. But Grimes got away with a high five there. Not supposed to be allowed to do that. Yeah, I don't think it's a true ghost either. But Hart's doing a really good job. The second possession of the quarter, he set this little flare that forced a switch. You just got to keep doing stuff like that, even against Embiid doing it. You got to do whatever you can to get Embiid or punish Embiid for trying not to move out of the paint.
Yeah, for sure. And Near Mario says maybe Embiid doesn't even have the mobility to roam. So it is a really good point. Not even something I really considered, but it's like that requires mobility and athleticism and stuff too. It's not that simple. And like we see Wemby do it so effectively, and that's because instead of using his mobility to defend on the perimeter, he's using it to kind of toggle around, be in the right area, be in the right spot at all times. And that takes awareness, that takes conditioning, that takes physical fitness, and maybe Embiid just doesn't have it.
Man, Hart just knew he was going to miss, got his own, tipped the offensive rebound to the Knicks, and now they get a new positioning. He's just a guy that if he's on your team, you love to have him.
Shamet ready for a defensive player of the game picture.
That was 24 seconds.
24 seconds. Yeah, Shamet's hooping. I man, you were talking about Bridges and him getting a touch and stuff, and like him having a feel or being involved in the offense in a particular way, and I think there's definitely something to that. But Embiid really tried to draw the Towns third foul. It's like he was just like specifically tried to. It ends up in a Shamet dunk, and he definitely got fouled on that too. Shamet is balling right now. There's just like, to me, the biggest thing is when these role players just don't get to play and they get in a game and it's like you get one shot from the corner. If you miss it, you had a terrible game. Like I don't know how many players can thrive under those conditions. I really don't. Yeah,
I think Knicks fans saw a good deal of it with what was the year that the Knicks, man, good defense by Shamet. Jeez, man.
Shamet's getting after it, by the way. Knicks, man. Shamet's going crazy.
The Knicks have matched Philadelphia's physicality here. Like that was like Grimes had that rebound and
Embiid just stuffed Towns.
Really nice by Embiid. Yeah, that's got to go both ways. I mean, if Towns is going to be able to use his body on an Embiid drive, then all I ever want with the refs is to feel like it's the same set of rules for both sides. When I'm watching, that's what I'm looking for. So, wow, man, the way he finished.
Tough finish by Hart there. That's a tough finish. That is not easy. Yeah, this is dialed up, man. Like the Sixers came out with a desperation that they did not have in game 2 and well, really throughout the series, honestly. And then the Knicks have matched it.
Yep.
As Embiid misses a layup.
Embiid's been terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Towns tries to pump Embiid, but he plays good defense. And George does overhelp off of Hart, but then Maxey helps off of Shamet, but he missed.
Great play by Clarkson there. There you go.
And Clarkson also gets after the offensive rebounds too.
Towns just got his 3rd foul though.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Man, this is. They might have called it Embiid.
Oh, it's on Embiid. Yeah, Knicks 38-35. I was gonna say at what cost, but it's okay because it's on Embiid.
That angle is interesting. I feel like if you're Nick Nurse and you want Towns out of the game, you should maybe consider challenging this because it looked like Towns just grabbed his arm, but.
That's always going to be. Towns just always has these questionable calls because he grabs and hooks so much, which I don't know why he does that on both ends. As Nurse follows your prescription there and challenges it.
Yeah.
He definitely wants Towns out of the game. He just grabs and hooks like so much that it makes every call questionable. And I think they are going to call that on Towns.
Yeah, I think they should. Or they should just say it's a no call. I don't see how that can be on Embiid. But Towns is one of the most interesting players to watch in that regard because it's like I don't know. Sometimes he's out there and it's like he's trying to. It's like he hears the way certain people talk about him and he's trying to like prove that he's not the way people talk about him. And it's like, I obviously don't know that's true, but it's like, who cares? Like, everybody knows you're really good. Nobody there. I don't think anybody reasonable is like, oh, he doesn't have the toughness gene. Like, he's an NBA player. So some of these fouls are
you say anybody reasonable. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like a lot of ex-NBA players say that, and those are the people that he respects, and he doesn't care about what you and I think. He's not like, oh yeah, well
that's
Shaq
true.
says I'm not
You're
tough,
right.
But XJ and Geoff think they know that's like
That's
he doesn't
fair.
care about what we think. He cares about what the people who are saying that think.
That's fair. That's a good point. So I guess reasonability doesn't matter. So yeah, I guess maybe that could be driving it then. But for whatever reason, he sometimes just seems to not like he's got 2 fouls, OG's out. This is not an area where, you can be risking picking up your 3rd foul. But then on the other end of the court, I think he gets just a horrid whistle. So I think some of it's just frustration,
Yeah, I think there's probably something to what you're saying, but I do think that he plays how he like wants to play. Like I think that he's a physical player. I think that he likes to use his strength, his size, his force. He feels like he can overpower guys a lot. I don't think he sees himself as this like finesse kind of guy who is there to just space and like I think he sees himself as like a multi-threat player who can do it all. And I think that he probably thinks that his physical strength and power is like one of his best attributes, maybe his best attribute. Like I think that's possible to go along with some of the things that you're hypothesizing as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Zach who says, actually, you're right about the NBA needing to make foul outs more than 6 fouls. Yeah, I think this is so interesting because I feel like people do complain a lot about the foul baiting and stuff, but like the biggest problem to me is not the foul baiting necessarily. That's something that needs to be cleaned up with like the referees. You decide what you want to call. You loosen the whistle or tighten the whistle as is necessary, and you can adjust that. But the fact that guys are missing games or having to sit for huge swaths of games or like that part doesn't seem right to me. I think and the 6 fouls thing is arbitrary. I don't really understand why it's 6 fouls, so there's no reason for it to stay unless I'm missing something. Jeff, do you have more context about the 6 fouls thing, about why that's like the right number?
I don't, but I think it's sort of like, I do think there needs to be, not needs to be, I think there needs to be some, I just resaid needs. I do think there needs to be some sort of like limit because yeah, I just think I guess I don't really have a great reason for it besides that's the way it's always been and that's comfortable to me or that makes sense to me. But do you not think that there would be downstream effects if that, like, let's just say, let's take the other extreme, the other hypothetical extreme, and say they removed foul limits altogether. Do you not think there would be any sort of downstream effects in terms of how the games are played, or you think it would just be fine?
Oh, okay. So confirm that Towns has drawn his third foul, which is horrible. Yeah, I just wouldn't argue for the extreme. I wouldn't argue it'd be like one foul and you're out, and I wouldn't argue it'd be like infinite fouls. Like I'm just saying that I don't think 6 is like some like amazing. I think you can just like upgrade that to like 7 if you want. You know what I'm saying? Like I think if you're seeing guys miss huge swaths of games, important playoff games, because of like little things like this, like okay, he grabs them or whatever, like the penalty is happening when they're in the bonus, they're getting free throws, they're getting to the line, like you are penalized for the foul, like and if it's a flagrant foul, you're penalized more harshly. If it's a technical foul, you're like, I think the penalty is all there. I don't know what the excessive penalty of now you also are like losing your guy for like a huge swath of the game. Why? Like I would have to understand more about the rationale for it. I don't think it should be infinite because then you can just like slap and foul and just like, the game would get super mucked up. But I'm not sure what the reason is for 6 in particular, I guess.
Yeah, fair. Oh, the Knicks put Hart on what's his face? A nice play by Grimes on George.
Yeah, and then Embiid didn't shoot a wide open mid range. He wanted to get his rhythm jab step in first, and he misses.
He did the James Harden. That is probably like my biggest pet peeve with those guys, like Harden, Luka, LeBron when LeBron was in his prime. You have these heliocentric guys who command the ball a huge percentage of the time. Imagine if they made a play and sprayed it to a shooter, and the shooter didn't shoot an open 3 off the catch, and then the few times they play off ball, somebody creates a 3 for them. And like Luka, especially, Luka does this all the time. Like he'll get an open 3 and he'll pump fake so he can dribble into a step back 3. And it's like, God, just can you shoot off the catch?
I hear that. I don't mind it as much because it's just like that's what those guys practice almost exclusively. So it's like shoot what you feel comfortable with. It's not really your role is to like, oh, what a nice sidelines or baseline out of bounds play. Very nice.
Mikal doing the on your head celebration too. Mikal doesn't do that too often.
He celebrates a lot. not that one. Not that.
He celebrates like his own stuff though. He's got.
Yeah. But I just, you know what it is? I think it's like you saying Mikal celebrating just makes me think of the nosebleed celebration, which is like the worst celebration in basketball. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, it's like weird. I don't get it. Maybe you guys understand the nosebleed thing. But yeah, Embiid being on the bottom of that poster is hilarious. And he's like so upset afterwards.
Have you seen the Thunderbird celebration? That's pretty bad.
The what?
Whatever they're doing, whatever the Thunder players do, they have like this.
Weird... yeah. That one's bad too. I just feel like the Bridges thing is like no one gets it, but like everybody. But he's like, no, seriously, this is the best, and everybody's just like, what?
It's a really good point by the name just got blocked out, but somebody the comments just went away from me. That's weird. Okay, I apologize to whoever said it, but somebody said that's vengeance. There it is. Yeah. Sincere. Yeah. That has to feel good for Mitch after what happened in 2024.
Absolutely. You know, on the Instagram, we can expect to see that that poster on there as Brunson draws the foul. Brunson's been a little quiet, I feel.
Yeah, they were doubling him, though. It was sort of like it wasn't as extreme as what the Lakers were doing to SGA, but there were definitely a couple possessions where they were taking a page out of JJ Redick's book and attacking Brunson that way. So
For sure, but they're definitely giving extra attention. But like what is he's made like one jumper, I feel like, and did he even make a jumper? It was a layup.
He made a three. He made a three.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm talking about 2-point range. But let me see what it is. Yeah, he's 1 of 6 from 2-point range in this game. 16.7%. If you want to make it sound worse than it actually is. And he did make that 3. You are correct.
Yeah, good for him to get to the free throw line though. That'll get his
for sure
as he misses the free throw. See,
nice.
I'm just very, very talented. You know, I just. They are doing the deuce on Maxey.
Yeah.
Hart on George thing, which I'm a big fan of this defensive alignment. I assume they're going to finish the half with this lineup. That would be
the remaining 6.5.
Yeah, Deuce has got to shoot the ball.
Whoa. Yeah, that was a dead end possession. As soon as Bridges kicked it out to Hart, that was going to be a dead end possession.
Yeah, but it wasn't a dead end possession. Deuce got an open 3 off the catch. That's what he does, and he's got to shoot that. Like that's the compounding effect of passing on an open shot. You can't just expect to create another good look like that. That's
very true.
And now somebody's going to get a grenade unless Brunson draws a foul.
And he hits it.
Or he does that.
Oh, man.
That's just... I think the thing that blows me away about Brunson is you watch...
Why did Oubre think that was acceptable to just go up softly directly in Mitchell Robinson's face?
He's going to try it again. Man, that's rough.
That is brutal.
Yeah.
44-38, Knicks up by 6 with 5:40 left, and Philly cannot be happy with how this game is going. That the fact that they're down 6 points in this situation, as we see Drummond take the corner 3, and we have 2 air balls in a row, but Oubre gets the offensive rebound.
I think the thing that blows me away the most about Brunson from watching him so intently is you have these guys, we were just talking about Luka. Anybody who's watched Luka knows that, he goes right, but if you gave him one shot to make, he would love to go left and step back going left. That's what he does. Everybody has a favorite hand. Brunson doesn't. Brunson seems just equally capable gathering, going left and going right. He's just so unbelievably skilled. And that little intricacy is what illuminates it to me. Is he's one of the few players to me that you can't really force him a certain way because he's going to burn you either way if you give him room to. Absolutely.
Sincere says, does anyone else think a 6'6" or 6'7" McBride would be a super scary defender? Yeah, if Deuce was 6'6" or 6'7", and had his same lateral quickness and aggression on ball, he'd just be OG or maybe better.
Yeah, that'd be I'll see if they're in the bonus.
All right, 44-40. Knicks up 4, 5 minutes, 15 seconds left. Hart draws a foul. I think they are not in the penalty yet, so the Knicks will inbound it. Yeah, this is encouraging from the Knicks standpoint. To barely have Towns in this first half. I think Towns has played 10 minutes, and to be up 4 while Philly has their full squad. Obviously Paul George started out red hot. Maxey's playing, I think, his best game of the series.
Today?
Yeah, you don't think so?
I just feel like I haven't really noticed him much. But again, you're way better at I could see myself opening the box score and being like, holy shit, I didn't see that.
He's just been terrible. He's just been terrible. That's the thing. Man, good. Oh, did he get a foul? They're trying to see if he drew the foul before the shot clock ended, which would be an insane bailout foul from Edgecombe.
He fell for the pump fake.
He did. But yeah, I think it's just Maxey's been so bad the first 2 games. It doesn't probably take very much for him to have a his best game. I think he's just been really effective when he has been aggressive.
Fair. I guess I just thought he was better than you did in game 2. I thought he was fine.
I thought he was like, I don't know. I thought he was a big negative, but
fair enough.
I just think that I don't know. I feel like Philly has not had like they had no positive players in this. I don't even know how they were in the game. Like it was such a weird game to me. Yeah. So
I need to pull up this box score. This is classic hot hand theory box score watching as we watch the game.
Nice. Sincere says no cat, no OG, and we're up 4. I like our chances here. Yeah, it's a great point. It's a great point. Hack a Mitch coming. That is also a great point by Tony Santos because they have about 3 minutes to do it, and definitely an option.
Definitely should be something that I considered. Yeah, I guess the only this isn't a negative, but just something that takes away from the Knicks are up is they do. I think they have had they're the ones that are making their threes. Is what I'm saying. Like Philly's made 1 3. It's no good.
What in this quarter?
No, in the game.
Philly's made more than 1 3 in the game.
No. Oh, they've made 3 threes. Jesus. What was it? Oh, the Knicks have made 1 free throw is what I saw. before that attempt. But yeah, then Philly is 3 of 10 and the Knicks are 5 of 11. Still, I mean, they've made 3 threes. That's not a lot.
Yeah, they're shooting very low volume, but they were getting to the rim a lot early, and that really slowed down. So, wow, terrible pass by Paul George looking for Bono to roll. He did not. And Bridges draws a foul and 1 in transition and yells.
Now.
No nosebleed on this one. Just passion.
That is a really good sign for the Knicks. Just both. I mean, the way Mikal and Mitch guard that pick and roll, super, super good. And then Mikal getting all the way to the rim, even though it's in transition, that's just really good for him.
It's always good when he gets to the rim. Yeah, absolutely.
Bona needs more than 6 fouls a game. It's hilarious.
Von Allen says Shamet needs more minutes. Shamet, I think, was like their best player in the first half. It was kind of crazy. He was so good.
Yeah. Who did they just put in? Yeah, they put Shamet in for Deuce. There you go.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I didn't even notice
that.
Yeah,
I think Shamet's like meaningfully outplayed Deuce. So good stuff. And you got the Hart Mitch combo that they can just destroy the boards. Oh, they had Mikal on the back door.
Nice. And they'll get Bridges open for the corner. Yep. Yeah, that was a beautiful DHO out of the pick and roll.
3 is better than 2.
That was like one of their best possessions, I thought.
Yeah, really good.
And
Paul George hasn't done anything since I was hyping him up. Y'all need
That is true.
I accept donations. High hand theory doesn't, but if you care about the Knicks losing,
I didn't say we don't accept donations. I just said we're not requesting them.
Yeah, you're right.
And Brunson just walks around Edgecombe, who overplays him and gets to the bucket. 54-42. Knicks starting to take control of this game. It's looking very, very scary for Philly right now. Knicks up by 12 in a game where Towns has played 10 minutes. OG Anunoby has played 0 minutes. Brunson has had a shaky game until of late, starting to get to the free throw line and get to the basket. Landry Shamet was one of their best players, and Knicks up 12. Scary times for the Sixers. They need a little bit of a run to close this half, in my opinion.
We talk about Nurse a lot. I do think the funniest thing about him is how bewildered he looks all the time. He's always so shocked by whatever occurs. It's enjoyable to watch as a fan.
For sure. Neil Mariosum says Mitch's impact so fucking underrated. I know we all know how good he is, but I think him being out last game was quietly bigger than Embiid missing. Wow, that's a big statement, but not crazy at all.
Well, the Embiid thing's weird. Like, I saw some people being like, well, there are certain positives to Embiid being out from the Sixers standpoint, like the way they can run offense. They have fewer limitations defensively because they're not trying to hide his mobility. So you just sort of have to clarify what you're talking about. Like, this version of Embiid, who you're having to hide defensively.
He clarifies
nice.
this version we saw in game 1, which I totally agree. I think
agree with
Embiid's like a bad player to be in game 1. I think he was just a bad player and the biggest negative on the Sixers. That's what I thought.
Yeah, so. I totally agree. If he can't move and you have to put him on certain people, like, and you're not even getting the benefits of it, and the Knicks can just auto spam all these Brunson Towns actions with no penalty, he is the one that's hurting you. I do think though that one of the things that they went to that they seem to not want to go to because Embiid's healthy, which is really weird, were those small Barlow at 5 lineups. And maybe they were only able to go to them because Mitch was out, which could be what's happening. But I think there could be some merit to trying to figure out how to get Barlow in the game as your center with more shooting when Towns is in the game.
Well, if they're gonna use Towns the way that they did when against that lineup, which they put Paul George on Towns, and then the Knicks just were like, well, I guess there's nothing we can do but run the same kind of stuff that we do when Bona is on Towns or Drummond is on Towns. It's like, well, no, it's an entirely different guy on Towns. You could do something different. The guy's multi-talented. It's incredible. Efrain Lopez says, you guys see this level of team defense potential coming?
Not me, for sure not me. I mean, I said for 2 years that if the Knicks were going to win, they were going to have to win through their offense. This is a level I didn't see. I feel comfortable saying I was just wrong about that. I think Hart in particular has reached a level that I never would have saw from him. So that's kudos to him. I was definitely off on that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say any particular player or anything like that, but like from a team standpoint, yeah, I did not expect them to be able to play this well. I do think that they have had good matchups for them. It will be really interesting to see if they are able to get this done, what it looks like in the next round. But yeah, I definitely didn't see them playing this way, and they played really good defense for a sustained stretch of time now. So it'll be really interesting as they move on. I think the biggest, like, not surprised to me, but I think the biggest swing has been Karl-Anthony Towns mostly, because just like as a defender, he's been like exceptional. I think I would say, I mean, I didn't watch Towns as much earlier in his career, but I would say his best defensive season in the past like 5 years at least. And then he's only just like accelerated that even higher in the playoffs. But also, again, like I said, the matchups where they have, like, the Hawks have multiple non-shooters on the court almost like all the time. Look at Shamet. Man, oh my goodness. So Shamet has been an absolute monster. Shamet has been a monster. That's crazy.
I mean, really, really, wow. Thanks. You go, XJ.
Shout out to Von Allen. Appreciate you, my guy, for the donation. Embiid is the OG who can't fight no more and have resorted to picking up sticks and bottles and sneak attacks. It's a good analogy, because it does kind of feel like that. It feels like he's just like, all he has is his bag of tricks, and doesn't really have too much substance now. It's kind of sad to me. I know like Knicks fans don't like Embiid and stuff, but like I don't know, man. I feel he's so talented, and he doesn't have to do like some of that more kind of like extracurricular or like borderline dirty stuff, and that is very frustrating, obviously. Especially the Mitchell Robinson play is one of the worst things I've seen in a game, and I try to be pretty neutral about that. Like I'm not like I'm a Knicks fan, so that's so dirty. Just in general, like to just grab a guy and pull him down by his leg while you're on the floor in that way is crazy. Clearly intentional. So that was like insane. But aside from that stuff, just like talent wise, the guy is absurd, completely absurd, a freak of nature. And for his injuries to do to him what they've done to him it's lame for the game, in my opinion.
Yep. I have an analogy to make for you, actually. I feel like Embiid is the NBA's Trout almost. Not as good, obviously. Trout reached a higher peak in his relative skill.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
But just like injuries disallowed him from playing, in injuries and maybe a little bit of luck, and then obviously some things of his own doing. I would put some combination of those things disallowed a really, really great player from like shining on the biggest moment at least once. The fact that Embiid never made a conference finals, like, we like to joke about it, but I mean, the 2019 Raptors series, Embiid was like plus 10 in that game 7 against the Raptors in 43 minutes.
Yeah.
He was really good against the Raptors that series. And then, of course, the Ben Simmons game 7 against Atlanta when they're up. Were the Sixers up 3-1 in that series? I think the Sixers were up 3-1 in that series and a game away from reaching the conference finals. Like, it's similar to CP3 never winning a ring. You know, people like to joke about CP3 never winning a ring, but I mean, he had some pretty rough breaks to not win a championship, and he's a really great player too. So yeah, there are definitely some analogies we can make, but I like the Trout analogy. I mean, I don't know if you know this, XJ. Mike Trout has never won a playoff game. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it is crazy because I think for like the first, how many years, maybe 4 or 5 years of Trout's career, like he was on. Oh, what a nice cut and pass by Brunson.
Such a nice pass by Brunson.
Wow.
Holy cow. That was beautiful.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Trout like was on a trajectory to like not be eliminated from the the conversation of being the greatest baseball player ever.
Oh yeah.
So
it's like him and Pujols in the 21st century who have had like the best starts to their career just out of the gate.
Yeah.
I guess maybe Judge is entering that conversation, but Judge has actually done it longer.
Judge has done it longer, but it wasn't as hot to like at the very beginning. Like
it wasn't the high wasn't as high.
Bridges. I was about to say Bridges is feeling himself to attack just like PG just straight up like that. That was impressive, but he missed it. Shout out to you, Soul Train. What's going on? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you.
This passes. So really good random cut by Bridges, but
woo, nice shovel. Little Patrick Mahomes.
Is Oubre not on the court? Oubre is on the court. Why do you think, XJ, they've gone away from the size on Brunson? I'm not saying anything works on Brunson, but
Bridges is feeling himself, man. He's very aggressive right now. He is in attack mode. He looks comfortable. He looks like he feels like nobody really can guard him. Tried to go for the step through. It looked like he just slipped, to be honest. But
yeah, that's a horrible call.
Yeah, he just fell.
Good Lord. And it's like, if the refs are going to play this game where certain defenders get respected, like yeah. You telling me if Alex Caruso's guarding him, they make that call?
I can't do it.
I live to annoy you at this point.
The foul thing.
Can you pull up that last comment by Neo Marioism? Because this is what I got interrupted talking about when we got that super chat, and thank you very much, Vaughn, for the super chat. But in my opinion, I don't think that even with Deuce starting, he has the potential in this game to like meaningfully change his role. I think there are two guys in this game who have the potential to change like the way Mike Brown views them, and that's Mikal Bridges and Landry Shamet. And I think both are like knocking it out of the park for the Knicks. I think that it would shock me if Shamet is just out of the rotation after this game. Did they
call that on Embiid?
I mean, that was a ridiculous flop.
It was ridiculous. He just but Shamet is grinding right now. This is a crazy intensity level from Shamet.
Dude, he like started going down before in anticipation of Shamet running into it
with the leg out.
That was ridiculous.
Sorry, I just to put a pin in it because John Leary, thank you again for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Just mentions to build on the Trout stuff we were talking about earlier. 2012 to 2016, Trout led the league in WAR 5 years in a row. Yeah, only won the MVP twice. 2018, second in MVP with 9.9 WAR. Lost to Betts, who had 10.6. Yeah, that is like one of the best starts to a career, probably the best start to a career in MLB history. And I don't even know if there's a close second, like just in terms of what he was doing. And that really shows it. That was incredible.
God, another just brilliant pass by Brunson. And then Hart does the Hart thing. They're going to get 3 points. Tell me if you think I'm off on this, actually. Does it seem like Brunson, more than he used to, picks these spots where he's like, oh, a teammate has it going, or like whether it's been Towns in the Atlanta series and early in the series, but they've spent like the last 6 minutes of this half running it through Bridges. Like at a degree they haven't at all in a long time. And I do feel like that is Brunson sort of reading the game and being like, okay, this guy that's really important to the team has it going. Let's keep that going right now. And I feel like
finish with the left.
I feel like that's happening at a higher rate than in past years. Like, and these are reasons, in my opinion, to believe that the Knicks can win at the highest level when they are getting contributions from all. Oh man,
they needed that from Oubre.
They needed that terribly. I do think that like the thing we have said since really they traded for Towns, but we were probably talking like this in the 2024 season too. You're not going to win a championship unless you're getting maximized versions of all these players. And even whatever you think about Jalen Brunson's passing, whatever you think about Jalen Brunson as a playmaker, Jalen Brunson dictates how the Knicks play at a rate that very few players in the NBA dictate how their team play. You know, like how the offense is run, who the offense is being run through. I do think Brunson drives that along with the coach. And in my opinion, watching these playoffs, I've felt like this has been peak Brunson as a decision maker and as a team initiator in terms of, oh man, OG's playing at an offensive level as high as we've seen throughout this stretch. And Karl-Anthony Towns is being a hub more than we've ever seen. And Mike Brown deserves credit. Of course, Mike Brown's the one coming up with the tactics. He's the one who's like, hey, let's try this, let's try that. But I think Brunson is a collaborator with Brown. And I do think that if Brunson wanted to be the guy that was like, this is my team, we're winning a championship off of what I do, he has the freedom to sort of drive that. And he hasn't. I think he's not getting enough credit for it.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think that Brunson's just probably better at those traits than I think he gets credit for, to be honest. Like I if he's doing it at a higher level right now, personally, I think that's more so due to the offense and like them making a specific concerted effort to like run things through town in the first series. But I think Brunson's like decent at that. I think that he does try to take over at times but I think it's just very loud. I think it's very loud, and then he gets like the reputation for like always doing that, but I don't think he always does that. I think it's just like anybody with like these reputations that they get when they do things that are really loud, like, you know, Karl-Anthony Towns with the fouling and things like that, where it's like, oh, you know, this guy just does this so much. That's what he does. That's what he's known for. But it's like, does he really do it all the time? I don't know. I think that is all to say. I don't know that Brunson's playing like at like such a different style of basketball personally, but I could be wrong about that. I don't feel like super confident about it. That's just my feel.
Yeah, it just looks that way to me, I guess, but maybe I'm just looking for it more. Maybe I'm being results oriented because the results have been so good so far.
Yeah, and I would say this, Brunson's greatest impact on the game is going to just be when he is able to score, take over the game, and be able to like kind of like bend the defense aggressively, because it ends up being like, it's not like a wear down effect, but it ends up being like late in the game when you see these blitzes to his face and stuff. It's like, your defense is broken. If you're doing that, if you're saying, oh, this guy's so dangerous in a one-on-one capacity, when we know like the average, you know, one-on-one points per possession is like, even among superstars, it's like 1.05 points per possession. It's like not super efficient basketball. And we know that. And we're so scared of this guy that we're going to just send two guys to his face and let you play 4-on-3 and get either a layup, a easy floater, or a wide open corner three every single possession. Like, your defense is broken at that point if you're doing that, in my opinion. And Brunson does that. And so like, if we see his impact at the end of the game and it's like, he didn't have that much impact in this game, or he had a supersized impact in this game, a lot of times it's just like at the end, he's worth as much as like a Jokic is at the end. If you're just creating 4-on-3s constantly, like the sky's the limit there, and that can offset not even the best game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. And to go hand in hand with that, that's why you really have to have that sort of defense sporadically and as almost a last resort because you're turning like Brunson has such a high individual offensive impact ceiling just on his own, but you're kind of gift wrapping it to him when you play those coverages. So you kind of have to pick your spots of like, oh, he's on one tonight. Like he's got that. So we have to try to negate it differently. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Because if you just default to, well, we can't let Brunson beat us, you're ironically letting him beat you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just
that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Just
yeah.
not as actively.
Yeah. You know what? I love how you put that. If you're just saying we can't let Brunson beat us, you're literally just enabling him beating you. Like you're choosing it. It's just in a different way, like you're saying. Yeah. I think that's a great way to summarize it.
I'm going to ask you this because we were talking about it before we hopped on. Do you think that's different or the same to like what the Lakers are doing to Shea? Like, do you see a difference there? Do you see a distinction? Because I actually think that before I turn it over to you, I think that the Lakers' strategy on Shea in terms of these constant doubles and the way they're executing it is a good strategy. Like, I don't see it as, oh, they're saying Shea can't beat us and they're letting him beat them. I think it's so. What is the distinction there in your opinion?
I think it's a great question and a great point. I do think it's like more optimal to guard Shea that way. And I mean, at the end of the day, obviously Brunson's a great scorer from the mid range and a great player in that regard, one-on-one. But Shea is just like the best at it, right? Like he shot like 55% from mid-range on super high volume this season. Obviously he gets to the line, like at whatever it is, 10 free throw attempts per 75. It's just like you cannot live within one-on-one coverage against him. You just can't. You will lose, and we know that just through consistent evidence. With Brunson, I think it depends on the game. It depends on how he's flowing. There's things you can do. You can stagger coverages. You can change things up. You can blitz him not to his face, but when he's not looking, you can hedge. You can do a lot of different things. You can push him over the top. You can shade. You can give early help. There's a lot of things you can do, but with Shea, if you don't give help, you're just going to lose. And I think Luka's probably like that too. Those are the two guys I feel that way about, Shea and Luka. Everybody else in the NBA, I can't really think of anybody else who I feel that way about. Obviously Jokic in a different way. But as far as like guards, I don't know if I'm missing someone, but I don't think there's anybody else I would feel that way about. Those two guys are unique to me. Oh, you're muted, Geoff.
Classic. It's an interesting rabbit hole to go down because it brings into question things like, what are you going for? If you're the favorite, are you going for the ceiling version of your team? Or are you just trying to replicate the median as often as possible? I think when you're the Thunder, the reason Shea is so amazing, one of the many reasons Shea is so amazing, is because it's like a really low variance style of basketball. You can just replicate it all the time. And when you combine that with their amazing defense, it's like they have a super high floor. On the other hand, if you're, I don't know, Luka Doncic with the 2024 Mavericks, or maybe even the 2022 Mavericks before Kyrie Irving got there, and you're an opponent, Luka has a similar level of high floor basketball where he can get a lot of these sort of safe twos, but are they good enough where that is worse than raising the ceiling and letting their shooters hit a bunch of threes if you send doubles at them? I think that's a trickier prospect than it is for Shea with the Thunder. So, I just think I don't even have an answer here. I just think it's a really interesting rabbit hole to go down theoretically.
It is. Yeah, it's a great question. Definitely something we should continue to explore and think about because it's always like interesting to try to think through what's the optimal coverage for these guys, and how it differs based on what their skill sets are, what the team is around them, all of those kinds of things. So super interesting. Shout out to you guys in the chat, by the way. Tons of you guys in here. Love you being here. We're going to be here going the rest of the way and then have a little debrief after the game, kind of talk through things for, 15, 20 minutes. Keep your questions, comments coming, whatever you want us to talk about. I mean, obviously we have a few minutes left in the half. It doesn't have to be even related to this game. It could be anything you want. And I feel like most people who listen to the show or who might, rock with us live or something. I feel like most people are like millennials, aren't you? Like I feel like there's not many like Gen Zers in here. I don't know if I'm making that up or if that's true. If there's like Gen Zers in here, can you just like let me know? Because I just feel like most of our audience is like more millennials, and I don't know why I think that. Maybe because it's like the way that we analyze feels like it'd be more compatible with that. But
I think you're just saying that we're old and we attract older energy. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe I don't know. Neo-Marioism is 24, so I think that is Gen Z actually. So
that is
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's man.
Our guy Free Z-Sec is Gen Z. Damn. Okay. We got Von Allen is a Ozier. And Sydney Bernardin is Gen Z. Man, I'm way off. My intuition there is wrong. That's dope. So is John. Whoa. Okay. Sweet. I'm happy to hear that. Honestly, I just felt like it was like an older crowd. You guys are wise beyond your years then, or something. Maybe that's what it is. And shout out to you, Kabian. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
That's probably that. Honestly, like if
that's not good. Neo Mario, I'm gonna hide this comment.
Yeah. We do not need that on the. Why did he type that?
Breslau, right. Coyote, Gen Z here from Poland.
That's cool.
Shout out to you.
You know what, low key, actually, was one of my favorite, at least non-Knicks related moments of our show is when we did that one Raptors episode, and we got the notification that we were a top 100 video in Canada. that international stuff was cool. So shout out from Poland. That's dope.
That is dope. Yep. There we go. We got a millennial. Shout out to you.
Hell yeah. If we're actually analyzing your bias, that's probably it. You probably because honestly, I think the thing I'm always most proud of and most just impressed by, we get the best comments all the time. Just
absolutely,
all the time.
100%.
All the time. Like I look at other people's like bigger channels or whatever, like their YouTube videos, and it's just a cesspool for the most part. It's just like
100%, dude.
And it's like people watch our videos and they'll just say stuff that has nothing to do with what we're saying, and I'm just like, oh my god, I wish we thought of this, And it's just like, it's amazing. And so probably you're like, oh, comments like that, it can't be college level.
I think that's why I think you're right. I think that is what it's like, because you're totally right. Like the comments we get, like no glaze at all, but it's like actually fundamentally different than like any comment section I've like seen elsewhere in like the NBA community. It's completely crazy. Like I don't know how we ended up with that, but like it's incredible. And shout out to Sincere, by the way. Thank you so much for the contribution. Really appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to try to get to as many comments as we can and definitely interact with you guys for the rest of the night. So don't feel obligated to contribute, but it really means a lot to feel like we're giving you guys value. So thank you for that. Sincere says, thank you guys for having the watch party. Always love your takes. Appreciate you, man. Even better in real time. If we win this game, should we consider keeping OG out in game 4? I'm going to let you take that, Geoff, because I think I know where you're going to go with that.
Yeah, he should 100% sit. There should be no thought of playing him. It doesn't again, we talked about this before the game started. The Knicks are up 3-0. They're like 98% or whatever to win the series. OG, the most he can affect your series equity is like 1%. That cannot be worth any additional the extra time off. Like let's say the Knicks were to win game 4 without OG. He would therefore get to rest his hamstring for like an additional week. That's just too valuable. It's too valuable.
Yeah.
Too valuable to make sure you're getting the maximized from a health perspective version of OG Anunoby. There cannot I saw a Schwinn tweet before the game. He was like, I don't have an opinion on OG. I'm going to trust the medical staff. That is 100% right. Like they have information we don't have. And honestly, even in theory, if OG were to play game 4, there is some semblance of an outcome where it's like, yeah, they just know he's 100%. This game can't affect things. Even if that were the case, there's still probably merit to just sitting him. That's how extreme it is, in my opinion, where like from a strategic standpoint, I don't even know what the benefit is aside from a rhythm thing of like, let's just say, let's go down that rabbit hole. Let's say they know OG is 100% and they're like, well, if you don't play him in game 4, he's not going to have any game action before game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And we're guaranteeing you that this game cannot additionally make him more likely to get injured or like re-injure that specific injury. So maybe that's the value of like making sure he gets game action. I don't know, but that's one potential positive in the face of a lot of potential negatives, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think I totally agree with that. And I think when looking at it from that perspective, it's almost like the swing factor of this game on the Knicks title chances is enormous, because you're talking about a situation where if the Knicks win this game, OG doesn't have to play again for, a week or whatever the period of time is. That means that this game is extremely meaningful with respect to their potential chances to win a title. Because if you can get OG rested and he can be anywhere near 100% moving forward, your chances to win right now go sky high from what they were previously. So great comment, Sincere. Really appreciate that. So I just want to, before the half starts, go through Neomariosm says, just absolutely love the way you guys talk about the game. Say it all the time. It's so goddamn refreshing. You guys really don't understand it, or maybe you do. That's why you made this channel. That's really kind. Neo, really appreciate that. All of those kinds of comments, like, everybody who's here probably knows, we read every single comment that comes through on any of our videos, whether it's Knicks related or not. If it's a video essay, it doesn't matter. If we get hundreds, we read every single one. Jeff responds to every single one. I try to chime in and chip in here and there, but I read every single one, and all of that stuff is super meaningful, and really appreciate that. The way we kind of think about the game, analyze it, resonates with you guys. The Knicks start the half. I do want to get to John Leary because he has been holding it down in the chat all night long. Really appreciate it. He has started us off and has kept us going. John Leary says SGA overtaking Jokic as the best player, and so we can talk about that for a minute as the Knicks get started. Up 60-52 to begin the half. It's a good question, but
that's a really good question.
Because I'm a huge Jokic fan. I think Jokic is like, I won't say where I have him on the all-time list, because that'll be a whole different thing. But I think it's definitely an open conversation as Brunson misses a 3. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have a strong opinion on that, Jeff?
I don't. That's so hard.
It's hard, man.
I don't know how you assess the Thunder. Dude, I was joking to you about it earlier, because it's basically irrelevant, but like they're plus 1 million these playoffs without SGA on the playoffs. It's only 40 minutes, but like it's just such a unique situation. I don't know if we've ever seen a star like be insulated in an environment as good as SGA is. Like, what is even the closest? Durant on the 2017 Warriors, I guess. Like,
yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, I think that's a better infrastructure than SGA has, but
yeah. Man, Deuce has been really bad. See, guys? See how I do it? See?
Deuce cashes the corner 3 on the reload.
I mean, seriously, they're starting to see the power. I feel like people are just going to start asking me to control
in real time. Yeah.
In real time. Yeah. It's very impressive. John wants to know where you have Jokic all time.
That's really John. I can't open that can. I love you, man. I just can't open that can of worms right now. It's just that we'll have to do an episode on that, maybe a video essay, maybe something. But I can't do it at this moment. Not in the middle of the game. I got you though. Maybe DM me. I'll tell you.
You know what bothers me about all-time conversations, XJ?
Yeah.
As VJ Edgecombe nails a corner 3 to cut it to 6. What bothers me about all-time conversations is no one ever contextualizes what they're talking about. Like, I would love to, obviously, like,
Towns missed the 3.
Like Nick Wright, for example, does a lot of good things, but he's got that all-time pyramid, right?
I wouldn't put any stock into like a Nick Wright.
No, I'm not putting stock into the pyramid, but I would love to ask him what he means. Like, there's no consistency in the pyramid, whether he's talking about peak, whether he's talking about career. Does he know what he means? Like,
no.
And to me, that's a problem. That's a problem that nobody's ever like, player X is the greatest player of all time to me. The GOAT or they're this on the GOAT scale because of
good defense by Hart.
Yeah, Hart's been, again, incredible defensively. And they put him on George. I feel proud for calling that adjustment.
And won as Brunson bullies Oubre all the way to the basket. Wow.
Yeah, I feel like just no one defines what they mean. I'll stop. I'll end the conversation there. But I feel like if we want to have true GOAT conversations, like we need to clarify if we're talking about peak, if we're talking about relative to era. Oh man, that's another really bad call.
I think it's like purposefully like open to like interpretation in this weird way, or like try like, you know, for instance, like all-star voting or MVP voting, although I think MVP voting is actually really clear, but like I think that they want it to be like open to interpretation for people to say, well, I think peak is more important. Well, I think longevity is more important. You know, like I think that when people have those conversations, they want that openness. But
okay, fair.
Yeah, I don't know, but I agree with you though. Like I would like to define what I mean when I say greatest of all time, like and have clear criteria. But
Maxey's gonna lose it.
Neo Mariosm's GOAT ranking is based purely on killer instinct. So that's
I mean,
that
Kobe
means
GOAT. Kobe GOAT.
I was trying to think of who would it be, but yeah, I guess it would be
Mamba mentality, man.
No, it'd be Jordan, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably. Man, Embiid like can't even get the ball to the basket.
Yeah. So this what I see is the Sixers are starting to note like the way that the Knicks are covering now. They are kind of allowing themselves to go in rotation, and Oubre is the guy in the dunker spot kind of alone as Bridges hits another one, and they are starting to target Oubre. They're starting to notice Oubre roaming baseline. Maxey kind of got it started, got into the rim, and saw Oubre, and he's the guy who feels like they're kind of allowing to hurt them. Oh, he can barely dunk, dude.
Yeah, he's like you said. It's just from a just completely neutral standpoint, it's a bummer. He was so good in his prime.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
The Knicks have come out of here with all sorts of different looks, though. I mean, Hart.
They absolutely have. You're right. Nice play by Bridges to Deuce.
Maybe Deuce should make open shots.
Let's see if Hart does. Nope.
I mean, those are good looks.
Yeah, those are two great looks. Like you can't really get better looks than that on a possession. So see this double, and then they're closing out to Maxey, and then
that's a goal attempt.
Terrible.
So I think the doubling's happening, XJ, on Embiid specifically because they're trying to keep Towns out of foul trouble, and you're seeing how they're seeing they don't want him to pick up his fourth.
Yep.
And you're seeing the shots they're creating. They're creating a lot of good looks with Towns getting. So there's obviously there's you had him backdoor.
No, you're absolutely right. And again, you know, like this was my concern coming into the game with not having OG. You could say, oh, you know, Towns has 3 fouls. We don't want him to get a 3rd foul, but there's 4th foul, but there's no one else who could even competently sort of guard Embiid, even with 2 coming to the ball. Man, Deuce McBride, that was not a good shot. UFO from Deuce.
Yeah, they got Shamet though. No, I'm serious. Just put him in. Like.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely.
Like I said, I don't think like.
I would just rock with him, but yeah, you could go in that direction.
Somebody just said it's almost like they're ghosting Deuce, and really interesting point because the help just came from Deuce in the strong corner on that screen and roll, and Towns had Deuce one pass away, wide open in the corner. That's very. Either there isn't a strategy or that might be what they're doing. They're just like, okay, we don't think Deuce McBride. It's like a name thing. Like we don't think Deuce McBride will beat us on high volume threes.
Yeah, that'd be sick. And in that case, like to be honest, like if that was how they were playing him, it would be more. It's the antithesis of what we were talking about with the Nick Nurse playing Josh Hart that way. It's like. Okay, then play Deuce 40 like the rest of the game then and let him shoot, 20 times. If that's what you guys want to do, then I wouldn't take him out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the thing, like that brings into what we were just talking about with the Thunder Lakers game. Like in a weird way, that is the Knicks and the Sixers both super embracing a high variance outcome. You're like relying on Deuce to make his open shots.
It
I
depends
know.
on what you think of as Deuce as a shooter, though, right? Like in the extreme capacity, it would be like if you wouldn't say, "Oh, well, you're relying on high variance if you let Steph Curry get wide open threes all game." You would say like, "No, you're going to lose that game," right? You wouldn't say like.
Correct.
So I think it depends on what you think of Deuce as a shooter. As Maxey gets all the way to the basket.
Well,
That's
but if you take it the other extreme, it also depends on how big an edge you think you have over the Knicks. So like, excuse me, how big an edge the Knicks have over the Sixers.
right, yeah.
Because
for sure.
if Steph Curry is with 4 monstars, and they're playing, I'm good at the hypotheticals too. If you put Steph Curry with 4 monstars and then they play a 5-on-5 game, then it's worth it to increase the variance relatively by leaving him open.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I just don't think the Knicks are in that situation, but
yeah, that's true.
So they're scrambling out of that. Yeah, I don't like the. And Towns picks up the foul. That's terrible.
Why is he shocked though? He's so funny, man.
I don't know why he's shocked. It's an obvious foul.
Yeah, he shoved him down. I mean, I'm sure Embiid embellished it, but.
And you're so right. They were obviously doubling to keep him out of that foul situation, but like, it's not enough, man. Like either you got to go Mitch, like start the half with Mitch, or go Mitch early, because I do think it's like a desperate situation not having OG to be able to guard Towns. To be able to guard Embiid. You only have Towns who can guard Embiid. That's your only option when they're on the court. Go double big, go, start Mitch. I don't know, because you just can't have this. 4 fouls on Towns. Now you have to win this game. You got a 7-point cushion, but you have to win this game basically without Towns and OG. That's a crazy like one arm behind your back.
Yeah, it's a great point. It does give a lot of credence to just matching Embiid's minutes with Mitch.
Exactly. Retire from healthcare, says baffled by Brown not protecting Towns. He tried to.
I don't think this is on Brown. Unless what you're saying is he should have protected him from the start. But I think that Brown has tried very hard to keep Towns from picking up his 3rd and 4th fouls. And Towns is not cooperating at all in terms of being situationally aware. And if you know our Knicks coverage, we have not been shy about criticizing Mike Brown, and we have not been shy about defending Karl-Anthony Towns and his upside and his impact upside and his importance to this team. So this isn't like an anti-Towns bias by any means, or a pro Mike Brown bias. I just think that Mike Brown has done what he could strategically to keep Towns from picking up these 3rd and 4th fouls, and Towns has not been cooperating.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you about especially how they started this half. Like they were clearly trying to protect Towns. Like they were bending their defense, willing to give up Oubre dunks and layups, in order to keep Towns out of foul trouble.
Yep.
The problem, though, I think is like earlier in the game. Like I do think they could have done a better job of trying to match up Mitch with Towns a little bit more, playing double big.
With Embiid.
Yeah, sorry. I keep calling him. I don't know why I keep saying that. Mitch with Embiid a little bit more, playing double big a little bit more. Like, and I don't know if Mitch is at all limited. Obviously, it was like an illness, but like I don't know if there's like a minute situation for him. But he's only at 12 so far. He's gonna end up playing over 25 in this game now with the Town situation. So I don't know. I probably would have just tried to see if you could push Mitch to play like closer to 30 minutes in this game and played them together a lot.
Yeah, I would just pull Towns now and have Mitch finish the quarter. Embiid usually plays the entire 1st and 3rd, although he came out slightly earlier in the 1st. He came out at like the 2-minute mark. So, yeah, I would just put Mitch in right now, have him play the rest of Embiid's shift, and then put Towns back in with 4 fouls when Embiid goes out.
Yeah, you and AB saying the same exact thing. I bring in Mitch here and play Cat when Embiid is off, and that's what I was saying about staggering, right? Like I would want every minute Embiid is not on the court, I want Towns to be on the court, basically, and that's what I would have planned for the beginning of the game. That's the thing. Like you go into the game knowing If Embiid plays 35, that's 13 minutes that Towns has to be on the court for that amount of time. And then you figure out the rest. You work backwards from however many minutes that Mitch can play. So in that situation, let's say if Mitch can play 30 and Embiid plays 35, then Towns only guards Embiid for 5 minutes of the game, not basically like a ton of the game like he has been. So I do think there is a little culpability for Brown there, but Cat not helping out at all. Not helping out at all with like how he's fouling.
Yeah. I just think that Towns has to be more situationally aware.
I agree.
Even if Mike Brown isn't strategizing perfectly, that's just
I agree.
That was a good ATO by Nurse to get Embiid that shot. That was nice.
Yeah, it's funny they just drop stuff for him to get mid-range shots, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting finish for sure. Knicks up 70-65, 6 minutes left in the third quarter, 18 minutes left in the game. It is going to be an interesting finish. I'm sure Deuce is going to make a couple big shots.
Oh, are you?
I know Brunson's going to make a couple big shots. He finishes a layup.
I need to say something negative about Deuce to spin it the other direction for him. Brunson's been great in this game. This has been a really, really nice performance by Brunson.
There's Oubre again cutting baseline.
Hey, Brunson gets roasted that floor. All right, I'm done. XJ, this is your show now. This is your show. Oh, man.
All right, they finally go back to the pick and roll, and Brunson gets to his midi off of it. But Brunson has absolutely gotten it going since early in the game when he started off 1 of 6 from 2-point range.
Yeah, he's hit like probably 6 in a row or something.
And that's good defense by Bridges on Maxey right there.
Really, really nice.
Some of his best defense.
Good stunt there by Brunson.
They forgot to guard Paul George as he misses, thankfully.
That was a really good stunt by Brunson.
Yeah, it was, but he backed up pretty quick.
Back to him.
And now Hart being guarded by Embiid.
Hart's awareness with Embiid on him has been fantastic in this game.
Wow, good jumper.
He's really, really picking up on those moments when they're crossing Embiid onto him and finding ways to help. I think he's like 100% on those possessions. He's looking for flare screens. He's looking for,
Well, he loves Oubre with the corner three. I'm telling you, man, like they're just featuring Oubre at this point.
Smart. Yeah. I mean, the Knicks are one of the funniest things about the Knicks is they are when an opponent has a non-shooter, they are not shy about trying to attack him defensively.
Yep.
That's off Hart.
No, it's off George's leg. He just bounced it off his shin. Yeah. No, I agree. Sincere is agreeing with what you were talking about earlier. Hart being great overall since the start of the playoffs.
Yeah. No, it's been, to me, from my eye, I think that, I truly think I might be overrating Hart here, which our high hand theory crowd might be like, whoa, what? But so this might sound crazy, but I think that if like you view Hart as like in the game NBA 2K, and you say, I'm going to take Josh Hart, but I'm going to turn his off-ball gravity up to like 90, and then I'm going to inch his defensive impact up. Whoa. I think he's like a top, 50 player, top 75 player, is something like that. That's the only way he's not helping you against certain matchups. And if you take that away, he doesn't really have many weaknesses. You don't even really need him to make shots. I mean, obviously he gets even better when he's shooting 40% from 3, but yeah.
I think I honestly we should dive into this on a pod, because I think I need to collect my thoughts on it. I think it's a little more complicated than that for Hart, in my opinion. I don't think it's like a matter of like if guys are going out to him or, he has some gravity on the court, then he's going to be a super impactful player because of everything else that he does. Because I don't think he's perfect at everything else. I think that he has other weaknesses or inconsistencies in his game that hurt you in other ways. From an impact standpoint, like he's going to get hurt from like turnovers. Like he's had games where he has like 4 turnovers or whatever. This game, I think he has 3. But I think this has been his best game. maybe of the playoffs. He had that one game against Atlanta where he shot the ball well, but
he had a couple games against Atlanta, in my opinion, that would be better than tonight's game. But
mm-hmm.
whatever, it's minuscule if there's a big difference. But
yeah. I do. I still think it's tough when he's like not making shots, because it's kind of funny that he's like had his weakest shot making stretch of the season basically since the start of the playoffs, but he's being kind of like, you know, respected the most. It's so interesting.
Yeah, that is a really interesting dichotomy. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
A free Z-Sec says, was Kelly Oubre doing a bobblehead thing because Brunson's big head? And Neo Mariosm says Kelly Oubre body shaving.
I saw the celebration. It looked to me like he was putting a crown on his head, but yeah, the bobblehead thing makes more sense, I guess.
I think it was.
All they got to do is throw on an
reference.
Got to throw on an episode of the Brunson Hart podcast. I mean, Hart makes a big forehead joke every other week, it seems. Or in a post-game interview. Like, they'll be doing a press conference and they'll be like, what do you think of Brunson? Josh Hart will be like, oh, it's tough to get through to him with that big forehead. It's like, so I think Brunson can take a joke about his head is my point.
Yeah. I think he's fine. I think he can handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing about this game is that, you know, Bridges was, like we talked about, was like so aggressive in that first half, and in the second half, obviously it's only been 8 minutes of the game. We have not seen that level of aggression anywhere near it from Bridges, and he was excellent. Like, I would argue like their best player in the first half, and he's kind of gone back into a shell. I don't know if that's because they're not running stuff for him. I don't know if that he feels like, oh, it's late in the game, it's Brunson time, let me get out the way. But I think Bridges being more aggressive and getting Landry Shamet back in the game, who was another guy who has an argument for their best player in the first half, will go a long way for them.
Yeah, I would get Shamet in for Deuce soon. I think Deuce has been very disappointing in this start. Although, I mean, I do think the defense has been per usual good. I think he's had a number of really, really strong possessions. He's just not making shots. That stinks. And when you combine not making shots with they overturned it. Brown challenged it. That's the feeling that I'm getting. But anyways, yeah, if you take away
Knicks win the challenge. Knicks retain possession, 76-70, 4 minutes left in the third quarter, 14 seconds on the clock now. Whew, this is going to come down to it, man.
These Sixers-Knicks games are always so ridiculous. Oh, they did put Shamet in. Man, I'm kind of nailing these decisions. Proud of myself.
Shamet is in.
Good hands by Maxey. Whoa.
Maxey's like, this guy clearly pushed me out of bounds. Oh, it's funny.
Right in front of the ref, too. It was such an unnecessary push by Brunson, too. He's not going to get there. Yeah. Like, very interesting.
4.5 seconds on the clock. And Shamet, you got to get the ball in, man. Oh, no, he gives it to Edgecombe for a dunk in transition. That was a terrible, but that's the one place you cannot pass the ball.
Yeah, it was no good. No good.
Really rough decision there.
I do think that they've just run it through Brunson more. Which is fine, obviously. I mean, Brunson's been great. Another great pass. Oh, wow.
Such a slow job going up by Hart. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
He normally goes up way quicker than that. And then they call I'm not sure where the foul was, but they call it on Shamet.
Yeah.
Maybe he held him. Yeah, this is an awful pass. Like, he panicked because the 5 seconds were running out, and then he just threw it into the backcourt.
I'd be curious to see. Oh, yeah. What is he doing? How does he even contort his body that way? Like, what in the world?
We're laughing at the Embiid flop, so. All right, they call a foul there on Embiid. I want to see that back because I thought Embiid was in front of Mitch, so I'm curious how they had that foul.
Our bi-hourly.
Oh yeah, he grabbed his wrist. Yeah.
Oh man. I need to understand these NBA players.
When they argue or complain about it, and they're just
he
like,
has to know, right? Like he has to know.
I don't know if he knows. As Mitch hits a free throw.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Oh, here comes Clarkson. Who's Clarkson going to come in for?
Clarkson was running in like Superman, like taking off his shirt as as he was about to fly. Clarkson's running in. It's like, don't worry, Clarkson's coming in.
Hell yeah. Get that cape ready.
If Mitch hits 2, the Philly crowd is going to go nuts.
Good for him making it. I mean, Jesus. How's it?
Damn, he's long.
Man, Nurse just loves playing his guys lots of minutes. He must like dream about it at night. Oh man, I got to play Edgecombe 44 minutes tonight.
That's funny.
Good play by Brunson.
That was a bait. That was a bait by Brunson that forced the turnover. What? What is going on? These guys are extremely sloppy right now, and it's over and back.
Yeah, this is wild.
This got extremely sloppy suddenly for the Knicks.
Another one of those turnovers you were talking about with Hart. I guess the turnovers and the occasional off-ball defense, space cadetting are like the two weak areas of weakness that don't go away when you give him that off-ball gravity. So
yeah, and I think that Maxey is attacking now and Embiid drawing fouls. Yeah, this is crumbling a little bit. We'll see if the Knicks have the resiliency to kind of stay the course here and bounce back, because Philly is definitely making a charge. Embiid is like actually like a 60-year-old man.
Yeah, I do think the one thing that not enough people know about Embiid falling is that they've done, I think that I've seen like studies on it, that he's like actually protecting himself by falling. Maybe that's just cope from certain people, but
like, what do you mean? Can you explain?
Yeah, like I saw somebody, maybe it was Embiid who talked about it, but basically, like, especially when he goes up for these jumps, it's just like bad for his legs to keep landing on them over and over again.
So like with full force.
Like, right, exactly. So it's a softer fall for him to just sort of like lightly land on his legs and then fall down.
That's a good point. Yeah, actually, that's probably legitimate. Shout out to BD4 Pod. Love the show, guys. Keep it up. Just getting home now, but good to see us in it without OG. Appreciate you joining, man. Yeah, it's been a very intense game. A lot of physicality. Knicks kind of took control of it. But now the Sixers are making a valiant effort and push now in this third quarter. Knicks up 77-73. Getting a little sloppy here. Lots of turnovers, kind of, and of course the Sixers are upping their intensity, so that's a factor. But I feel that the Knicks just need to kind of settle in again.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Mariosm says what you said. They said that him falling takes a load off his knees. Yeah, it makes total sense, to be honest with you. I don't think that's cope. It just makes sense to me. So.
Yeah, I empathize strongly with people who don't know that, and then just watch him, twice a year when their favorite team plays. It's like, why does the 7-footer keep falling down all the time? Shaq would never do that.
Yeah. Well, Shaq is probably not jumping very much, besides when he's like 2 inches from the rim.
Prime Shaq was.
True, Prime Shaq was, but Prime Shaq, this is Embiid is the equivalent of like probably has the physical body of like a 43-year-old at this point.
That's fair. And he can still, I've felt for a couple of years now that Embiid just needs like I thought him playing the Olympics, for example. I mean, I can't speak for him personally. Maybe that was just super gratifying for him personally, that it was worth everything else. But I feel like he just needed like he needs like a really long stretch to just focus on nothing but getting his body as right as possible. And it feels like he hasn't had that since the injury started kicking back in after his MVP season.
Well, he's just always rehabbing, man. So it's like yeah, I think you're is is just resting his body going to address some of these issues? I feel like it's like a structural instability. I don't know that there's anything he can do about it. I mean, that's me just guessing, but I don't know.
Hack a Mitch time.
And this is I think like a very good strategy by Nurse right now, because I mean he only has 1 minute to do it, but there's nothing you can do. You can't take Mitch out of the game at this point. So the Knicks are riding with this.
Yeah. Is that a third quarter rule, the 2-minute thing? I thought that was only second and fourth quarter.
I think it's every quarter, but I could be wrong. Correct this if I'm wrong, chat.
Yeah.
Correct this if I'm wrong, because you guys would know. You guys are Gen Zers, so you guys would know. I don't know why that means they would know, but
it just means they're less likely to have forgotten, like we are. our old man memories.
There you go. There you go. Why is Maxey talking to him right now?
To Mitch?
Yeah.
Mitch is just a yapper. He probably makes him more like a...
AB says only in the fourth and overtime. Huh.
Oh.
Interesting.
So I was wrong. I thought it was the end of halves.
I'll go with that. All right, let's see what the Knicks do.
This is oh, never mind. I thought Paul George was in. I was gonna say if George was in for Oubre, the Sixers have not yet played what I think is their best lineup. Very interesting.
Good D by Mitch.
Yeah.
But then and then Embiid missed.
Man.
Yeah, he just had way too much time to operate down there. You cannot guard him for 7 seconds in that situation.
That was asking a lot of Mitch right there. That was
there's nothing he could do.
Because I thought it was impressive that he stayed down even the multiple times that Embiid pump faked, especially on that first one when he's walking into that rhythm midi, like to just be like, all right, you can take that. I'm not gonna let you draw a foul.
Absolutely. In that case, would you just help off of Grimes and just let Grimes get a corner three, or would you
I'd help off Oubre, but yeah.
From the other side?
Well,
because Grimes was the closest, and they were spaced out really well.
Do you mean after?
As Mitch hits another free throw.
You mean like later, not when he was walking into that? Because I feel like
later when after he got the offensive rebound, Clarkson was there. Clarkson was there and retreated out to Grimes, and then gave Embiid the one-on-one again when he was like 2 feet away from the rim, which I didn't think was the right decision.
That's tough. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. Whoa, that guy was mad.
Mitch hits two. And Mitch hits 80, 76, 2 big free throws from Mitchell Robinson.
So Nurse is gonna do the thing.
He's gonna he's got it now.
He lost the coin flip, so he's gonna stop doing it.
He's got me now. It's over.
Whoa, that was
line drive shot.
What was wild about that shot there? No, I think the reason it was a line drive is he saw Oubre cutting open, and he was like, oh shit, I should have made the pass there. Yeah, he went away from the strategy.
Oh man, he really did. That's hilarious.
Did Brunson just airball up? That was interesting.
Yeah. That's so crazy. Did he really just go away from it because Mitchell Robinson hit 2?
Oh, they overturned the call. Man, this has been a really weird basketball game. I'm really glad we went live for this one. This has just been very, very strange for a number of reasons.
Very strange.
And I was wrong about a fight breaking out.
Whoa. Yeah, that's true. The Sixers have shot at least 5 air balls in this game.
Yeah, I mean Oubre had 3 in a stretch of 2 possessions.
Yeah,
if you count Mitch swatting him as an air ball.
It was basically an air ball.
Yeah. Oh, this was a cool set. This could be a lob. Yeah.
Very nice. Oh!
That's bad.
He just wanted to get back to the free throw line. That's crazy.
Did you see what they did off ball there though, XJ?
On the weak side or with Mitch?
So they set up like Brunson was going to get a pin down from Clarkson, and then they flipped it, and Brunson set the pin down for Clarkson.
Yeah.
And so that's why the Sixers were caught so off guard. They were waiting for Brunson to run and get the DHO, but they flipped it so Clarkson was getting it, and yeah, it created a huge advantage. Really, really smart set there.
Yeah, it definitely created a wide open lob that somehow Mitch missed. So
Yeah. There's another guy. I mean, like, of course, Mitch was gonna. He could only stay 22 for so long, but I feel like nobody but the real Knicks fans know what a ridiculous athlete he was before Thibodeau came.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, before Thibodeau came and they started getting like good. And Mitch was the only bright spot on those Knicks teams, really, and it was just like him jumping over guys and blocking threes, and he was such a ludicrous athlete back then.
Yeah, outrageous. And
you were right, XJ. And final 2 minutes of every quarter.
Oh, there you go. AB confirms. Wrong. I read the rule wrong. It's 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then John Lever says Mitch is so gassed right now. Yeah, he is super spent. You can see it. He had a hard time getting up off the court.
Those young Sixers fans were so excited
because they feel like they influenced it.
I think they probably get like free Chick-fil-A or something. Every arena
does because he missed the 2.
Yeah, it's if the opposing opponent misses 2 free throws, you get free some sort of food. Oh, that's a break for the Knicks right there.
I'll live with that if I'm the Knicks right now, given all the circumstances. Like I'm not too worried about Embiid beating them from 3.
All right, fair.
All right, let's see what they run. All right, misdirection into a Mitch pick and roll. Brunson.
Well, I think Mikal was just mindless. Oh man, that's rough. I think Mikal was just mindlessly looking to set a screen.
Oh, you think so? I thought that was like intentional.
Yeah. Man, the Knicks are getting a lot of good
calls.
That's
good defense by Grimes.
Yeah, that's just the Knicks have gotten a lot of good calls in this game.
I just for our audience sake, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't have a position on that. I can't watch the game and assess that live like that.
I said it seems.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it seems like a lot of the 50-50 calls are going their way.
I'm agnostic. 81-76, about to be done with the third as Brunson makes the free throw. Okay, so if the Knicks can hold a 6-point lead going into the fourth, they'll get Towns back. They're in really good position. The Sixers, I think, need to close strong, more importantly for them than it is for the Knicks. And they get Grimes a wide open 3.
Jesus,
another air ball.
Oh man! All right. Now the Knicks are catching some breaks right now. Holy cow!
For sure.
And that was an example of what you were talking about, actually, earlier in the game with Clarkson.
Yeah.
The whole reason.
Shamit!
That's such a huge swing. Shamit's been so good.
Shamit is hooping.
That's exactly what you were talking about earlier this game with Clarkson, actually, where he just randomly went up too high. And
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and
that was
the whole reason that Grimes corner 3 was created.
Yeah, good call. I forgot to even watch out for it, but yeah, that is what happened.
Brutal.
So they're bringing in the all defense unit. Nice foul to give there to slow things down. Sixers have 2 seconds or 1.7.
Sixers are running that play where Maxey gets to run really fast.
They do love that.
They love
Maxey ahead of steam. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's just a decoy. Interesting.
He had Grimes.
Yeah.
There was time to make the pass. All right, 85-76. The Knicks close strong, man. This is very, very good situation for them. Spot themselves 9 points going into the fourth quarter. Towns becomes a factor again. Yeah, this is a great situation for the Knicks. What are your main takeaways so far?
That quarter was just so all over the place. It was like it seemed like the Knicks had a stranglehold on it, and then they really, really took their hand off the wheel. Like seemed like more bad turnovers, kind of let the Sixers back into it. And then look, I think that they capitalized on some breaks there at the end of the quarter. I think just like the end of game 2, Philly missed some shots and the Knicks hit some shots, and that's how we're at where we're at. And Shamet continues to be the overwhelming story to me. I mean,
Yep.
we're talking about a guy who is just capitalizing on the situation or the opportunity that's been given to him, because he is just making the most of every minute he's being given by Mike Brown tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shaman's been absolutely incredible. Has totally made the OG loss just like way less critical than it would have been. I hope that he plays a good chunk of this fourth quarter, because he's been so impactful both ways. His defense has been almost more impressive than his offense, and he's just been all around. Besides that one terrible pass that he threw to Edgecombe for the turnover fast break, basically gave them a pick 6. But otherwise, he's been so sound. And I think that the Knicks, you mentioned this early in the game, but the Knicks have gotten back to crashing the offensive boards. I think that's been important for them to kind of get some second chance opportunities. And then keeping the Sixers out of fast break situations, and I think really controlling Maxey again. I don't know what Maxey's stat line is, but he started off where I was like, oh, this is one of his better games, or best game that I've seen him in this series. And then he kind of just went away. So
yeah, I think if I'm looking at it now, Maxey's 6 of 8 shooting. There are 3 different. He has the fewest field goal attempts of any Sixers starter. To me, that's almost
that's crazy.
That's almost inexcusable.
That is inexcusable. That's insane.
And on a night he's 6 of 8. The Knicks are doing a lot of good things. You can't let the Knicks take him out of the game like that. You have to. And if I had to guess, I would guess that with Embiid coming out of the game right now, Maxey will stay in the game, and that'll be who they'll go to start the quarter. So the Knicks need to be on the lookout for that. A concern of mine from the Knicks standpoint would be if they come out no Hart, because Hart needs to rest, no Deuce, and no Alvarado. Like, if the Sixers are going to start the quarter running it through Maxey with no Embiid, and the Knicks' 3 best Maxey defenders are all not on the court, and it's just like Bridges, or even worse, look, we've been praising Shamet, but I wouldn't. It looks like Hart's coming back in, so they at least have. The Knicks at least have some semblance of a guy they can put on Maxey. But yeah, from the Knicks perspective, I would expect Maxey to be starting this quarter, and I would expect him to get a lot of run.
Yeah, I agree. I think AB says Philly basically run a 6-man rotation. Fatigue might play a huge role here. I think Maxey, I don't know if this is the why, but he has been so sporadically like picking his spots and been super passive, more passive in this series than I am used to ever seeing Tyrese Maxey play. And so I don't know if it's fatigue, because he's playing like 45, 47 minutes almost every game. But it is very weird how he's sort of been marginalized in their offense.
Yeah. Another thing I didn't even consider, the Sixers are running this small. Towns shoot the 3. The Sixers are running this small. This is weird. They're running this small lineup with Barlow at center. I like that more than Drummond.
Okay, and now the Knicks get it into Towns finally with that small lineup and creates an open 3 for Clarkson. So if they want to run this small lineup, get Karl-Anthony Towns in the post and make them punish them for it. They will bring 2. They will bring 2 to Towns. It is so frustrating seeing that against the Hawks, the same situation as Grimes hits a 3. Same situation against the Hawks. They put Dyson Daniels on Towns. They never brought him into the post. They still tried to play him in this Sabonis Jokic outside role. And they did it again here. Here, get him the ball in the post. We got Paul George on Towns. Very nice cut. Another cut, and Clarkson's late to make
I'll
the
say
pass.
this. Kudos to Nurse, at least on that possession. If you're going to go to this strategy, trusting Paul George and not sending 2. Because, I do think Towns has an advantage on George in the post, of course, from a size perspective. But is it as big an advantage as if you just default to doubling and create a 4-on-3 for the Knicks? I'm not as sure.
Well, I would obviously say no. I would never do it, but I wouldn't go. You couldn't. To me, this is not a viable way to go if you're going to just double him, just like on a post entry, which is what Quinn Snyder actually did when he had Dyson Daniels on him. It was like a triggering an automatic double in the post, which makes that coverage non-tenable to me. But that being said, they will bring the double if he gets deep enough. Like they're going to start and say, oh, okay, we'll let Paul George battle for a little while. But if he gets a foot in the paint, they're going to bring two.
Yeah. The Knicks have, it seems to me the Knicks have benefited from some positive variance in a number of ways. Like the Clarkson buzzer beater, and then Shamet gets a bailout 2 seconds on the shot clock. I think the Knicks need to sharpen up in a number of areas if they want to close this one out.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting later and later, and they have a 9-point edge, so they don't have to be much better than the Sixers to win this game at this point.
Yep.
There's Clarkson getting. Oh, nice defense. Why was Towns? Oh, because Barlow's on the court. Yep. I forgot.
It's what do you always talk about? It's the vaunted small lineup that doesn't get the benefits of being small.
Exactly. I was just laughing at Alvarado like jumping for no reason. He was not anywhere near Maxey at all. He's just like leaping into the air. Maxey gets all the way to the rim. So this is what I don't like when they have Towns like creating from there with a small on him. That doesn't make any sense to me. But Towns, I mean, Hart does want to get Towns the ball in the post. Yeah. He absolutely does. And they let him go to it. I mean, that's good defense by Paul George.
Good defense by Paul George.
And he started out very high, and there's Maxey.
Good defense by Shamet again. Yeah. Man, Shamet's been good.
Shamet is guarding everyone. He's guarded Paul George well. He's guarded Maxey well. Maybe he can guard Embiid. There we go. That's deep positioning. They have to bring the two there. What? Whoa. What did he shoot that? There was 10 seconds left on the clock. That was an insane shot.
This is more.
All right, timeout. This is not looking good. They look frantic and they look scattered, and that was a terrible shot from Towns.
Do you see Hart slam the ball there though? Like he's like, dude, I got you the ball where we're trying to get it to you multiple times. The fuck, man. Like,
well, he lost it. Like he had it and he drew the double, but then he lost the ball and then just shot a fadeaway instead of just repositioning. Like, calm down, let's reposition. Yeah. Let's do it again. You got what you wanted.
Really, really, really good call by you. I feel like that's not a fundamental you see as much in the NBA as you used to. Obviously, post-ups are less prevalent than they used to be. But you would see, like, when the Lakers would run the triangle offense with Shaq, when Shaq caught the ball and he was pushed off his spot, he would so effectively just kick it back out and then re-get his position. Yeah. And it's like, if you're Towns, you have to understand that your size advantage comes when you're, in a better position. If you're not
close to the
position,
basket,
if you're not in a better position, kick it out and get that better position. You can't do that with the ball in your hands.
Yeah, I do think that's an issue with Towns with his post-ups, and maybe this is Mike Brown's reasoning for it. I don't, but Towns doesn't seem to like to fight for position early. There are some guys who are amazing at that, and they just get to their spot and they will just fight for that position and then receive the ball. But Towns is, I think, so confident in his abilities from the perimeter that he's like, oh, just give it to me. Like, I could have 1 foot on the 3-point line and that's fine. It's like, no, you don't have the advantage that you would have had if you just fought him early, get close to the paint, and then receive the ball. And, Hart clearly is a guy who's always trying to get it to Towns in these post-up situations. Like, he's trying to feed the big. But Towns will just stop there close to the 3-point line and be like, I'm open, just throw it into me. It's like, dude, you're not in the post yet. Like, get in the post first and then I'll throw it into you.
Yep.
So
yeah, I think that's why Hart was frustrated though. I mean, he slams the ball.
Valid.
Like, it's I think Hart's totally in the right there. Like, he has the recognition to understand that Towns has a mismatch and just needs to be proactive in getting into the right spot. And he's like, dude, I'm doing my end. Pick up the slack on your end.
Totally valid. Yeah. And Sincere says, I think Cat lets defenders push him out of the post sometimes because he wants it at the perimeter. And I think that's probably true. He wants more space to like operate in some situations, and he really just needs to just take advantage of the size in this particular moment. So
he is just the ultimate conundrum. Cause like I agree, I agree with that point, but then it's like, dude, if that's how you view yourself, shoot more threes. Like, oh, I'm a perimeter player who's the greatest player of all time, but I don't want to shoot three. What do you want, man? What is your ideal version of yourself? It's like he decides sporadically. It's so strange.
It does seem inconsistent, and as far as like, I think he does like the ball in his hands, and he likes to operate once he has the ball. But the problem being is like they need him to do a little bit more before he has the ball in this particular situation. And so I to be honest, I do think Brown can run some stuff for him to get in position, right? Like if he doesn't want to do it himself, if he's not going to just voluntarily say like, let me bully and push Paul George under the rim and then like try to receive it, Brown can run some stuff to like get him in position, like through off ball actions and get him in the right spot. But like, it's unfortunate that it has to come to that if that's the case.
We'll have to dive deeper into this because I don't think that you're wrong about this when you bring this stuff up. Like, I also don't think that you are saying that the players don't have agency. I feel like I've like inadvertently put those words in your mouth, and I don't mean that. But generally, when it comes to like the coaches could do more criticisms, I just sort of find that to be like, yeah, I think that all coaches could in general do more. But like, it's almost like the same for everybody, or like the standard deviation, or you want to say the range is less wide than it is in other areas of critique. It's like that's almost baked into anything. Like, yes, the coaches could probably do more to put these guys in more optimal spots.
I get what you're saying. I don't think it applies in this case because it's like a particular way that it's like strategic, right? Like this is not even as Bridges hits another midi. Knicks looking to get some more space separation. It's a strategic deployment, so it's not tactical. I'm not saying like he needs to run more sets like this or X, Y, and Z. I'm saying that the Sixers are making a tactical decision. We're going to play small because we think we have an advantage in this way. That's their strategy that they're deploying, and the Knicks have to have a counter strategy to that. You don't just say, well, the players know what to do. And this, like, no, they have an active strategy they're employing. You have to have a counter strategy. The counter strategy is get Towns the ball in the post as they get Barlow with a dunk. Should have been an and one. Lucky Towns didn't get another foul. And so you have to force that to happen. You have to find a way to make that happen as the coach, or else you're just like not countering their strategy. So it's a little bit different than what you're describing in this particular case. So Brunson's pointing to the post for Towns, and he catches it on the 3-point line again. So this is not that there's nothing there, and Brunson hits a bailout three. This is a little concerning to me from what we're seeing from Towns in this game.
This has been because I think where you're going with that, and we'll dive into this more at a commercial break because I don't think people want to talk about this mid-action in the fourth quarter of a game. But
yeah.
I think where you're going with this
good block from Towns there, and 2-on-1
is if the Knicks are able to make it to the finals, and specifically they get the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Correct.
Towns taking advantage of smaller defenders needs to be in their repertoire.
100%. So you see Nurse react there to that. It's like, Oubre, what are you doing? Oubre's like helping off of Brunson for no reason at all. Towns has the ball. He's way out on the perimeter. He's like, the defense is fine there. There's no real threat, but Oubre is just like in no man's land, kind of cheating over, gives Brunson, albeit a deep three, an open three, and Nurse as they zoom in on it.
That's really hilarious.
Yeah. That reaction was totally warranted because I don't know what Oubre is doing there. Like, why are you giving help? Like, the scheme is don't help until he has a foot in the paint, probably, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's no good.
All right, Knicks extend the lead again, 97-86. Bridges getting back to being more aggressive. He's been one of their best players in this game for sure.
Yeah, and good on Brown for assuming this is the lineup he goes to. I think this is the lineup that's crazy.
Got a
They don't
rip
get
through.
continue. Yeah,
They call it a rip through on that one.
I know. I'm saying.
You don't think it was a rip through?
No, I think it was, but I just think that certain players would get an and one there.
Oh gosh, I don't know about all that. And you don't either, to be clear. But
I don't know. I didn't say I know. I said I think.
As Paul George gets a slap in the face, Knicks are building up fouls, getting into the bonus here.
Wow, he hasn't scored since the first quarter. I really do control sports. He literally hasn't scored since I talked about how he was one of my favorite players. It's unbelievable, man. I'm just the ultimate loser. Like, it's just, what can I do?
AB says Cat almost seems scared to bully smaller guy in the post because he gets called for offensive fouls. Like, that could be a deterrent for him is being worried about getting called for offensive fouls.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's a really fair point by AB. And to, be introspective, if I'm going to criticize him for not having that situational awareness, then there needs to be some credit of maybe that is what he's considering. So it's a good point by AB.
I do want to double down on my, oh no, they have Embiid on Towns here. Oh, turnover here. And Brunson attacks it early. Very nice. I thought Brunson was going to slow it down and pull it out. 99-86, and Philly needs a timeout. Big run from the Knicks.
Yeah, super impressive. Just, I think it's another game. I think it's another game where Philly played really like. I guess maybe I sort of disagree with you. I thought Philly did a number of things well in game 2, and I thought they more closely resembled the team that not could put fear in the Knicks, but could, test them and could be physical with them. And I think they did for a lot of this game too. And for the Knicks to just stand up to it without OG and Anunoby, and honestly, without a very good version of Deuce McBride in this game, Towns has been in foul trouble. Like, there are a number of things going against them. And you look at Brunson having his best game of the series, arguably his best all-around game. Josh Hart's been incredible on both ends. Mikal Bridges, definitely his best game of the series. And then Landry Shamet saying, like, when we're healthy, let's go. And we want to be, playing the Pistons or playing the Thunder or playing the Spurs. And you want to go to an 8-man rotation that we can trust with really the highest quality guys. Let's go to the starting lineup with Deuce, Landry Shamet, and Mitch off the bench. We don't need to go any deeper than that. Like he's putting his stamp on that in this game. Super impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. All great points. I think that, like, to me, it's like it is like a Bridges and Shamet situation where it's like the fact that you can have, to your point, do struggle, Towns not play well. I think this is his worst game of the playoffs, even including like the fouls or not including the fouls. Obviously not having OG, and I think Brunson's been really, really good, but I think Deuce and Shamet are the guys. Not Deuce
Bridges.
and Shamet. Bridges and Shamet are the guys who super stick out to me, because you could have OG go down and then just have Bridges just be like, well, I'll just step into that role and like I'll give you what you need there. I'll get to the free throw line. Like I to be honest, like, when's the last time that we've seen Mikal Bridges get 5 free throws in a game?
Like never. Like, is that a season high?
That'd be crazy if that's a season high, but yeah, it's probably up there. I don't think he's had many 5 free throw games, if a handful.
It's gonna be close. I would be, but yeah, you're right. It's probably not a season high. I would throw Hart's defense into that, and the reason I would throw Hart's defense into that specifically is because I think the one thing that OG brings that Mikal just isn't really able to replicate is that sort of power forward level physicality defensively. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And with the Knicks not going to Mo Diawara, which I'm not saying they should have, to be clear, I'm just saying from a physical profile standpoint, they don't really have anybody who offers that outside of their centers. And so to hold the Sixers to 86 points with 5 minutes left in the game, sure, you need a little bit of luck with regards to shooting variance, but I do think that they needed Hart to scale up and to size up and showcase that physicality. And I think he's just been, again, wonderful on that side of the court.
And I want to go back to AB's comment from like a long time ago at this point, basically 15 minutes ago, saying Philly basically running a 6-man rotation almost as a prelude to what we've seen in this fourth quarter, where it does just feel like Philly just continually runs out of gas towards the end of these games. And they absolutely melted down in game 2 towards the end, where they just couldn't make shots. I don't know what they were in the fourth quarter, but like it's some terrible shooting percentage. And then here they seem to be just running out of steam. So we'll see with Embiid back in the game and how things go. But Philly is coming down to their season here. They cannot lose this game. If they lose this game, this series is over, in my opinion. I know that some people wouldn't want me to say that for jinx purposes, but like I just, they're not going to beat the Knicks 4 times in a row.
I'll tell you who wouldn't want you to say that. My dad wouldn't want you to say that. He'd be very, if he's watching this, he's very unhappy with you. Oh man, Shamit does it again.
Shamit's a monster. Shamit is a menace, man.
Also, XJ, I've been hyping you up as similar to my dad in terms of nothing's ever over until it's over. Like you guys are similar levels of crazy. If you're here saying the series is over because they go up 3-0, maybe I'm misrepresenting you.
You might be at this point. It's still circumstantial for me. I think that it's just from what we've seen. Of course, there could be an injury or something like that, but like that's not really like a factor. I'm not factoring that in, because if there's an injury or like that, then it's like the Knicks aren't winning a title anyway.
Yeah.
Whoa, Shamit slips. He seems like to slip a lot. No, he's okay.
Man, the Knicks caught another break with the shooting. I mean, that Grimes 3 spins in and out. That's
Brunson goes away from the cat screen to just dribble, and Shamit picks up the foul. Wow.
By the way, I looked it up. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say what AB said, so never mind.
What was it? Oh,
about the free throw
Bridges'
attempts.
season high free throw attempts was 6 this season against Cleveland. Yeah.
Just once.
Yeah. That is crazy. We got Kabian talking about Pistons here. Maybe I shouldn't be bringing this comment up because they haven't. I'll say this: I'm not going to talk about it until they win this game. Like I'm not. This game's not over at all. This game is absolutely not over. I will say that. But if they do win this game, the series is over. That's my perspective.
Okay.
Vaughn says maybe it's just the Knicks in the fourth are that good. The Knicks are very good in the fourth, and they are also more rested and just have a better team. So
yeah, even without OG,
exactly.
Man, like
with this Embiid in particular, you got Mikal Bridges just getting after it on Embiid.
Did you see
good strip from Hart? Oh, and it goes right to Maxey. That's bad luck.
Ridiculous. That is super unlucky. But also, what are the Sixers doing? I forgot Maxey was on the court the last.
Yeah, Maxey is like not even part of it.
Do they not know how good Tyrese Maxey is? I don't.
Oh, tough finish off the glass from Brunson. That is a tough shot. That angle was crazy.
They should be running every set through Maxey.
There he is as he misses another 3.
Yeah, it's kind of too late now.
Nice breakout from Bridges in the finish. The Knicks go up 16 with 3:46 left in the fourth quarter. Spike celebration seems to be starting. I'm not going to call this game yet. But if they win this game, this may be the biggest turnaround in terms of probability to win an NBA title for them this season. Again, you don't have to bring back OG Anunoby to lock up this series, and he gets to rest. We'll see how long this Pistons series goes, but if that series goes any more than 4 or 5 games, the Knicks are in a great spot if they win this.
Yeah, I'll say something maybe you'll disagree with or maybe controversial. I wouldn't bring OG back until Game 6 in this series. I wouldn't even bring him back for Game 5 if the Sixers took care of home court.
You know me better than that, Geoff. That's not controversial. I agree with that. Like it's all about probability to win a title. I don't care about this series. If you lose this series, correct. Like if they can't win 2 games with OG or one of 2 games with OG, then they're not going to win a title. It doesn't matter. Gotta win. You gotta win. You gotta. I don't know the extent of his injury. It could be. I think it is the situation that he could have just played tonight, probably. And they're thinking somewhat along these lines. And if they are, he definitely won't play tomorrow, and he probably won't play in Game 5 if there is one. Not tomorrow, Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm sure part of it too is the human level of like, I'm sure he's there. Like, I want to play. I'm good. Like, and that's tough. You gave the guy $200 million. Yeah, he wants to play,
They run something for George. These guys cannot hit anything in the fourth quarter of the past 2 games. This is insane for them. All right, we got Brunson. Now he accepts the cat screen. He got Embiid on an island and then cooks him. Oh, halfway down. Oh, no. Are you serious? Another cat foul on a silly reach in off the rebound. Totally unnecessary.
He's got 5 now?
Yeah.
Man, Brunson wanted that dagger to fall so bad. He was ready. He was ready to hit the celebration.
He was really ready.
Yeah, I think Vaughn makes a good point. I feel like Embiid won't play Game 4. That's another reason to not play OG.
Just gotta let him have that dunk. Yeah, you guys think Embiid won't be back?
It just seems like he can barely move, man. There was that possession a few possessions ago where he ended up having to take the grenade step back 3. He had to bend over for the ball, and he could barely move for it. It's like he's killing him. He's killing himself out there.
Yep. All right, Knicks go Brunson cat.
Hart gets the grenade. He hits these. He's got to be have one of the highest grenade percentage of. It's ridiculous how often he makes this.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, they finally see Maxey. They remember Maxey's part of the team.
Yeah.
He gets Embiid a wide open 3, which Embiid don't got it, man.
I like the one reason I like the Mikal Hart combination. They seem to have a lot of chemistry in transition. That seems to be some of the best moments from Mikal is when he and Hart are running in transition.
Yeah, I think you play those. I think those are those two guys love playing in transition the most. Maybe Alvarado is up there with them, but to me, those three guys love running.
Alvarado's a great call. You play the 3 of them. All right, the Sixers are emptying the bench.
The Sixers are throwing in the. Okay, so if the Sixers are emptying the bench now, to me, you're agreeing to lose the series. So yeah, I don't think we'll see Embiid in Game 4 then, because. Do they feel they're going to go down 3-0 and then come back? Do they think that's realistic?
They think the odds are higher of coming back 3-0 down than the odds are of coming back and winning this game, I suppose.
But it's not it's not mutually exclusive. They could try to come back in this game and try to come back 3-0.
Right, but they just don't think that it's worth the additional toll on the players who have all played 40 plus minutes in this game, I guess.
The additional 2 minutes?
I guess not.
Well,
or they don't think about things like that.
John Leary, shout out to you. Would you attend the Met Gala over a Knicks game? I don't think anyone watching this, listening to this, anyone anywhere involved of anything with Hot Hand Theory or the Knicks or this Knicks playoff game would attend the Met Gala over a Knicks game. It's a very good question.
I have an potentially embarrassing admission.
You've been to the Met Gala?
No, I don't know what it is. What is it?
I don't know. It's some fashion thing, I think. I assume. I don't know.
I think the only exposure I've ever had to it is people dressed in the most ridiculous whatever ever, and I'm just all right. I don't have any future. I don't care to invest further into this. I'm mad. I know it exists. I'm mad. I've heard of it.
All right, Knicks getting Brunson out of the game. We got Kolek minutes. This is it, man. Knicks gonna go up 3-0 against the Sixers. Up 18 or 16 points now with 2 minutes left. This game is a wrap. They're going back to Philly on Sunday to potentially close it out and sweep the Sixers. The Sixers just do not have enough. They just do not have enough. It is this Embiid is not sufficient to have any chance to beat this level of Knicks team. Again, like I said on Locked On Knicks, like I said previously, the Knicks do not need OG to win this series. And especially now, hopefully we don't see him again until round 3 in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Sixers just don't have enough right now. And with how Maxey is playing, this is probably the worst I've seen Maxey play. Like, I don't know.
He's just invisible. Like, I don't even know if it's on Maxey though. They're like, are the Knicks holding him down? Maybe they are. Maybe I need to rewatch and see what the Knicks are doing, but they don't even seem like they're trying to run.
No, I don't think so. I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of 12 from 3 in the series.
Wow. Yeah,
so,
their 3-point shooting has just been really bad.
Listen to this Maxey data. He's 1 of 12 from 3. He's 4 of 15 from the mid range. So
Jeez.
he's made he's 2 of 12. What did I say from 3? 2 of 12 from 3.
You said 1 of 12.
Yeah, he's 2 of 12 from 3. So he's made 7 jumpers in this series. Tyrese Maxey has made 7 jumpers in the series and played 47 minutes in game 2 and 44 minutes in game 3. That's outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they have to do, it's almost like, that's good.
I got you, Soul Train.
I feel like it's almost this battle between the perceived best player on the team and who is actually the best player on the team. Like, almost like, you know how obviously they're not, don't get mad at me, people in the comments. I'm not saying they're the early 2000s Lakers. I'm making an analogy. It's sort of
anybody would care about that.
Yeah, it sort of like reminds me of like in 2003, 2004, when it's like Shaq had moved beyond his peak, and maybe him and Kobe were still close, but like Kobe wanted to take the reins and Shaq didn't want to let go of the reins, and like Phil Jackson was more pro Shaq, and so that's how we got to the 2004 NBA Finals, where Kobe had what very few people talk about is one of the most destructive NBA Finals ever, but like almost isn't on him because he was like, "Hey guys, like this is my team now," and Shaq didn't want to let it go, and there was that sort of there was that battle going on. I think that Nurse and Embiid think this is still Embiid's team, and Maxey's like, I'm the best player now, like, and they need to. I think it would be for the betterment of the 76ers franchise if they move forward as if Maxey was clearly the best player.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to John Leary again, who drops a "How did the Celtics blow a 3-1 lead?" LOL. It is actually puzzling, but you know, I think Embiid just basically gave what was left in his gas tank in that series, and he just he had nothing left, and he has nothing left. And I totally agree with you. I think Maxey's the best player on the team, but at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily a situation where it's like they're focusing on maximizing Embiid and it's hurting Maxey. I just think he's been so passive. He's been incredibly passive because he's on the court for a ton of time when Embiid is not, and he has advantageous matchups, and he just seems like he's just like willing to just, I don't know, go down in the corner, and it's really crazy.
I do want to say, actually, this is an area where I think that how do I say this? It's easy to look at catch-all metrics and impact data and almost miss the forest for the
Knicks
trees.
win. Sorry to cut you off, Jeff. Knicks win 108-94. Go up 3-0 on the Sixers. We're looking to close out Sunday afternoon. Thank you all for being with us, for hanging with us, for watching the game with us. If you watched a minute, if you were here from start to finish, we appreciate you. And the Knicks lock up the Sixers. Embiid just a mess again. And Knicks win it without OG Anunoby and basically without Karl-Anthony Towns. Incredible performance by them. And we are going to transition now into just kind of like doing our post-game debrief and everything. And again, appreciate you guys for hanging with us. We'll be on for another probably like 15 minutes or so. Jeff, I'm sorry to cut you off. Back to you.
No, I was just saying, I think it's easy to look at like impact metrics or catch-all metrics and sort of miss the forest for the trees. I think that Maxey is an incredible offensive player. You know how high I am on Maxey in general. But I do think that right now he's more of a 2-level scorer than a 3-level scorer. I think he's trying to get downhill. I think he's trying to get to the rim, or he's trying to hit that pull-up three, where he's very good at both. And you watch him in these matchups where he's being schemed against relative to a guy like Jalen Brunson, And you saw what the Knicks did tonight when the plays were being run through Maxey. They had Towns at the level. They iced him. They pushed him to the sidelines. And Maxey didn't really have a counter if he couldn't get all the way to the basket. He didn't have that plan B. And so, again, we're not talking about Maxey compared to the whole league. When we're talking about him at the highest level compared to guys like Jalen Brunson or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he has some growing to do. This is where he needs to grow his game so that his strengths aren't as easy to take away. When you're game planning against Jalen Brunson, you have to take more than a couple things away. He has so many different ways to beat you. And I think for whatever reason, that just kind of illuminated that just popped into my brain watching this game.
Thanks, yeah, I think those are great points, and shout out to John Leary again. Was first here in the chat and has been holding it down all night. It says pleasure watching with you guys. Fun night. We really appreciate you for hanging with us. Shout out to Blood of DePanta. Appreciate the donation, my guy. I said 5 games. I was wrong. Knicks in 4 pitch. Oh man, yeah, it is looking like it. I don't know if the Sixers have anything left at all for the Knicks. Like, if they're able to surmount the effort to put in the requisite grind and intensity necessary to knock off the Knicks on Sunday afternoon, I would be very, very impressed. I just don't see it for them. I think that they know this is done. Nick Nurse threw in the towel early, in my opinion. I just don't think that they have enough, and I think they know that they don't have enough. I can imagine, like you said, Geoff, like someone else, I forget if it was AB or someone else said that, we don't see Embiid in game 4. I think that that's also possibly going to be the case, maybe even likely. He was not good tonight. And so I just think that this team just purely does not have enough. They just don't. They're running a 6-man rotation, a 6 or 7-man rotation. They barely trust Barlow to play, but they're trying to put him in for a few minutes. I mean, we're not seeing anything from Maxey, to your point. We're seeing some like legitimate limitations in his game. I do think there's something to this idea that maybe he's a little injured. Maybe he's a little banged up. I think like Efrain Lopez says, I wonder if Maxey's hand is a real issue. I think there is something to that because his jump shot's just not going. Like, Maxey normally can make some pull-up jumpers like from 3 regardless, but they just don't have it. They just don't have it. Their leading scorer tonight was Kelly Oubre, who the Knicks basically made their leading scorer by funneling things to him all night, being able to play off of him. They tried to protect Cat by doubling Embiid and just leveraging Oubre. Oubre got his points, but it just was nowhere near enough. And so the Knicks take them down. Brunson has a great game offensively after having a very, very slow start. Started off 1 for 6 from 2-point range, ends the game 8 of 14 from 2-point range. So he did not miss another 2 after that start. Mikal Bridges was excellent picking up the slack offensively. To your point, Josh Hart was excellent picking up the defensive slack for OG Anunoby. Landry Shamet had an absolutely incredible game. One of my favorite Landry Shamet games ever in terms of how he played. Karl-Anthony Towns was pretty non-existent. Still did end up with 12 rebounds and 7 assists somehow in only 25 minutes, which is incredible. But yeah, the Knicks just too much for the 76ers. I just wanted to give kind of my overall thoughts and go down the line. But what do you think, Geoff, about the Knicks' performance in particular?
That was an awesome rundown. Just doing that, like off cuff, no preparation. That's just, I don't even know what to add to that. That's just, yeah, that was a really, really, really impressive. Yeah, impressive by you, and almost as impressive performance from the Knicks. I think that it's really weird. It's. I have to be honest. I've always sort of viewed postseason runs like these as almost like progressive. Like it's like just like a natural upward progression. And with this specific Knicks playoff run, maybe it's because they kind of caught a break and they got a lower seeded team in round 2, which of course happened in 2023 against Miami, but that was a strange situation too. But I don't feel like, oh, okay, yeah, they're moving up and they're just preparing themselves to play this Eastern Conference Final showdown, Detroit, who we know, like, it's almost going to be like a reset to me. And so we're such macro thinkers, the way we analyze the game and the way we analyze teams, always looking at the bigger picture, always looking forward, always, talking about the process. And I don't know. I'm going to have to think over more, but there's very little from these games aside from the escapability and powering through it and handling the toughness of Philadelphia, where I'm like, yeah, they're going to build on this and this can carry over to a series versus Detroit, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Like if I was to let me channel anxious XJ energy, I would say, this is not preparing them for what they're about to face with Detroit if Detroit obviously makes it. But that being said, like at the same time, there is going to be something to be said of if they do finish this off in 4 games, the rest that they'll get, OG and Anunoby coming back, the Knicks understanding that they can play and win in all of these multitude of different ways, getting kind of the best versions of everybody on their team besides like Deuce McBride right now. They're getting really the best version of, they did before this game, the best version of Towns. We're seeing Jalen Brunson be multi-dimensional and be able to, do it all, basically taking over games, taking a backseat in games as necessary, showing off some of his passing ability, playmaking. Mikal Bridges coming on at the right time. OG Anunoby has been the best player in this this postseason on both conferences so far. Josh Hart with his defensive improvements, as you have mentioned. And then Landry Shamet now waking up. So all they need is a Deuce McBride sighting from 3 and him to get going. And I think that from a talent perspective, from a energy perspective, from a, clicking on all cylinders perspective, it's really, really good for the Knicks. It is a problem of like, you didn't have to grind for it like they did in the past. And Detroit did have to grind for it. They had to deal with the most physical team that they would have to face in the playoffs with the Magic. They're getting a little bit of an easier, in my opinion, team in the Cavs, who I've not been high on the Cavs all season. So, I mean, we'll see if they're able to kind of make quick work of them. But I do think that they've got a little bit more of a crash course and kind of are going to be ready. But here's what I'll say about the Pistons. In my opinion, the thing about the Pistons is I've been higher than consensus on them all season. I think they're deservingly were the top seed in the East. But there is this situation where some of their advantage in the regular season starts to diminish. Some of that gap starts to close because their advantage is that aggression, that physicality, that energy level, that intensity. And then other teams start to get up to their level and they have nowhere left to go. And we've seen the Knicks get up in terms of that intensity level. They impressed me so much in that Hawks series where it's like, the Hawks desperately need it, the Knicks don't need it, and the Knicks still are the ones who are bringing the bigger intensity and energy level. And so we've seen the Knicks be able to meet the moment. They met the moment in the NBA Cup against the Spurs, right? Like it was like, to me, a big reason why they weren't as good after that was because they had like accelerated to playoff intensity level. And then they came off of that high and was like, well, how do we go back to playing regular season basketball? Like, what's the appropriate level of intensity now? Like they had trouble finding that. And so they've shown that they can meet that level. And even though they're not getting pressed into making it to that level, the idea would be if they were to play Detroit, they would be able to just get there, turn on that switch and meet it. But yeah, I agree. It's a little bit concerning that they're not getting tested so far.
I will. One of the things before I respond to that part of it, you brought up one area the Knicks need to find is they need to get Deuce in rhythm. To me, we talked about the potential positives of OG playing game 4 or playing, to get that in-game rhythm. Keeping this version of Shamet ready for the Eastern Conference Finals and then getting Deuce extended minutes without OG probably has more value in a series that you're up 3-0 in, and that so that there's a positive there. Regarding a potential Pistons matchup, you kind of tuned me into this. When we're talking about areas that can carry over from the Hawks and the Sixers series, well, the Pistons also are going to keep Duren on Towns. Like, that's how they want. They're not going to be looking at a super exploitative coverage, at least not off the bat. And that kind of plays into the Knicks' hands. It didn't in the regular season, of course. Not only did the Pistons go 3-0 against the Knicks, but they beat them pretty good. But like you said, that could be more of an intensity factor. And if you're going to let this Knicks team, who seems more tuned into if the opponent's going to put a center on Towns, we're going to spam that. We're going to lean on that as much as we can with Brunson and Towns. And the Pistons are just going to let that happen. I'm not sure that the Pistons can score enough to match what the Knicks maybe project to do in a playoff setting, but that could be wrong.
If the Knicks go through the entire Eastern Conference and no one plays ghost coverage on Josh Hart and they just walk their way to the finals, that would be absolutely mind-blowing to me, which is totally possible. I just don't really see it. I imagine that we're going to see, I think they'll start out with Durant on Towns, and I know we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here, but like it's 3-0, guys. It's 3-0, and the Sixers don't have enough. This is not a situation where there was going to be a 3-0 comeback in the MLB, in the NBA. It would look like, Embiid and Maxey missed the first 3 games and now they're back. It
would look like the Rockets-Lakers series in round 1. That wouldn't have surprised me if the Rockets won. They came back and won.
If Durant came back, right? You mean you thought they didn't need Durant. Now I would say it wouldn't look like that unless Durant came back. I don't think you're winning 4 games in a row against a team that beat you 3 times unless there's some fundamental shift that happens. And so, to me, this is a done deal. But as far as the Pistons, I don't think they're going to just stick with Durant on Towns no matter what. I think they do like Tobias on Towns. I think they will go to that. I think they will go to ghosting Josh. I think they will go to different coverages. I think they have 2 series of film that they're going to watch on the Knicks and see Towns playing as an orchestrator and creator, and not just say I guess we'll go down like the rest of those Ducks in the same way. I don't think that's gonna happen. But hey, who knows? It's totally possible. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit of a better matchup. And so, but
I just don't think XJ that I just don't think a lot of I think it's rare for a coach to not view things the way that most of these I think they just think we'll just do it better.
They don't. What if they lose though?
They don't see it the way they view it. They don't view it as a strategy failure. They view it as an execution failure.
I totally hear what you're saying, and I think that's their first thought in coaches' minds. But I think at least in these 2 teams that they've played so far, these teams just accept that the Knicks are better. These teams accept that the Knicks have better talent, that the Knicks are a better condition, they're deeper. The Knicks players are all in their primes. They're all healthy. They're all playing to the maximum of their potential. I think that these 2 teams, I think that Quinn Snyder really just accepted hey, we're going to lose this series anyway. And I think the Sixers, I think Nick Nurse knows that the series is over. I don't think you pull your team. I don't care if it's 15 points in 2 minutes. I think you have to, if you want to win a series, you don't want to go, you can't go down 3-0. You just can't. Not in the NBA. You can't go down 3-0 if you're planning on winning a series. And so I don't think they're planning on winning the series. I think they know the series is over. I think, like you said, Embiid probably doesn't even play on Sunday because they know this is done. And I don't think the Pistons come in that same way. I think the Pistons come in thinking that they should win the series. And if you think you should win the series, I don't think you say, yeah, we just got to try harder doing the same thing. I think that you try different things until something's effective as you think it should be. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. I'm not definitely. I don't know why I'm saying definitely. We will likely see. But it'll be really interesting. And nothing is more important for their chances, the Knicks' chances for going to the finals, than getting a healthy OG back. So do not want to see OG on Sunday. Do not want to see OG on what's the next game on Tuesday. I don't want to see OG in this series again. The Knicks don't need him to win it.
I just want to, and let's we said we'd stay on for a little bit afterwards, but we don't need to get into a deep theoretical conversation. But sure. I find it very interesting that you framed it that way, because the way I think about things, I would assume that it's the worst teams, the teams that, as you put it, view themselves at a disadvantage and view themselves as lesser, that would be pushing the volatile high variance buttons. And it would be the teams like the Pistons who view themselves as better, which the Pistons do. I'm not saying they are better. I'm saying the Pistons view themselves as the better team, who would stay the course and be like, this is what worked for us all season. We can, even if it's similar to what the worst teams were doing, even if it's a similar strategy, we'll execute it better. That's why we're better. That's how I think they'd view things.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think it's a volatility question. Like, I don't think it's a question of like, oh, we have this high volatility strategy versus this like, lower volatility, just like our talent level wins out or our, execution wins out. To me, that's not really the trade-off. It's more like, here are different ways we can execute and win. We're trying this strategically. Strategically, this is not effective, and we can win if we go in a different direction, as opposed to like, to me, I think with the Snyder situation, whereas it was shocking to me that he didn't just try something different, but I just felt like it was like, we lost it. We're going to lose the series anyway. Let's just like go out doing whatever we do. This situation, I just think like they don't even like, the Sixers is just done. There's just blood in the water. It's over. So I don't know. Where I'll agree with you is that, like, again, it was shocking to me, and that's why I said this on the pod. I think the Quinn Snyder thing is like one of the worst coached playoff series I've ever seen. To not try to get destroyed and annihilated the way that they started to, and to scrape by and win 2 games by 2 points total, and to not say we're going to try to switch things up, aside from we're going to put Dyson Daniels on Towns, it was completely inexcusable. That was ridiculous. But in this series, I think they just know it's over. It's done. The Pistons, I think, are willing to do different things and think that they can be effective in different ways. And it's just going to be a strategy battle. Because that would be like saying, how like a playoff series is like considered a chess match. It would be like saying, well, there's no adjustments made. Both teams think they're better. We'll never see an adjustment. They'll just say execute it better. But that doesn't happen. Teams adjust to what the other team is doing strategically to try to put themselves and maximize their chances to win, even if the other team thinks is better. OKC adjusts constantly in playoff series. They don't just say, well, we're the better team. We'll just keep hitting our head against the wall, because we just do what we do. They'll say, oh, we'll play Hartenstein less or more. We'll play shooters less or more. We'll go to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just adjust. But that doesn't mean you don't think you're better. Does that make sense?
It does. I just, first of all, I think we can just leave the conversation out, because I specifically mentioned Daignault as like the exception. So yes,
oh yeah, you did.
I think that if the Thunder go down, like if the Thunder and Knicks met in the finals and the Knicks upset the Thunder because they were doing something really well, Daignault would not say, we're better, we're going to do the same. Like, I think he would adjust. I think he's the exception. But I think for the most part, especially like just JB Biggerstaff, like, and good on him if he proves me wrong. He can definitely prove me wrong. This isn't like hate on JB Biggerstaff. He saw this Pistons team, built a strategy that got them the number 1 seed. That guy's clearly doing a lot of things right. It just doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to look at his team and say, if the Knicks steal one in Detroit, say, you know what, we're going to scrap the things that got us here. He's going to like double down and be like, in my opinion, I think he's going to say, just got to do it better. Got to execute better. We got to try harder. We got to win the margins. He's going to say all those coach speak things. That's what I would expect. And on a relative basis, I would expect the worst team to be the ones that are more introspective, and especially if they're like, hey, we're losing. Okay, we're losing. Let's throw shit at the wall and see if something sticks if we're going to lose. That's just how I view things.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I said, in the Hawks series, I agree with you. Like that was bizarre to me that they wouldn't do that. But I guess what I'm saying is that it sounds like, to me, that focuses more on like the variance strategy, right? Like, oh, we're losing in this way. Let's play a more high variance strategy. Let's let them kind of get their open threes and hopefully they miss them. And that's our best chance to win. But I'm not talking about a variance strategy. I'm just talking about a chess match of, what is working, what is not working. I don't think you just don't adjust if you think you're the better team. I think teams just adjust to one another. But to your point, maybe JB is just not like that.
But we're talking about past each other here. I agree with you. You're right. I'm not talking about what they should do. I'm talking about what they will do.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe JB is just not like that. Maybe he just won't do it.
I think most coaches aren't like that. That's my point. I maybe this seems disrespectful. I think most people who correlate with the mindset of a professional coach do not think the way that you're describing.
You could be absolutely right, and we'll obviously dive deeper on this when we I keep saying when, or like for sure, if we are previewing a Knicks Pistons series, we're gonna dive all the way into this. But yeah, we're gonna sign off here. But we really appreciate you guys. Shout out to Von Allen, who sends another super chat. Appreciate you. Says, rest up, OG. We need you next round. Great job, guys. Let's fucking go. The Knicks win game 3. To me, like I said, I think this is the biggest swing factor in their playoff finals chances, because it gives OG a chance to rest more. He does not have to come back in this series. The Knicks are up 3-0, looking to close out on Sunday. If they close out on Sunday, then that's tons of time off, at least a week for OG and Anunoby, which will do everything for their title chances. So incredible win, big, huge win for them to all but close out this series, and they have 4 chances to do it moving forward. So any last words you want to say, Geoff, before we get out of here?
No, just as always, thanks to everyone for showing up. It's so humbling and meaningful that anybody wants to come and watch these games with us and hear what we have to say about the NBA. So thanks to y'all. We really appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. We will see you on a pod soon. We probably are going to do another live like this. We're going to get a lot more active as things continue to move on, and appreciate everybody who joined. Like I said, if you joined for a minute tonight, or you've joined for the whole time, if you joined for a one possession, we really appreciate you being here, and we will see you next time. Until then, this has been a 3-hour long live stream of Hot Hand Theory. We'll see you later.